Good morning. I'm Judge Tammy Long, Hayward State Court of Clayton County, Georgia. This is April 30, 2025. These are the the traffic bench calendars for April 30, 2025. This is the 10 a.m. calendar, and I'm going to call the calendar to determine if you're ready to go forward with a trial or if you would like to speak with the solicitor to see if there is a plea agreement that you all might work out prior to trial. If you don't work out an agreement, that's fine. You do not have to agree to anything. You can always go forward with trial. The first case on the calendar is Abner. That case was closed. That's Mr. Ruff's case. So Abner, my understanding, is closed. Aguilar, closed. Next is Boyce, Sean Buckley Boyce. Sean Buckley Boyce.
Your Honor, there's no answer. State would request a failure to appear subject to good notice.
Last call for Sean Buckley Boyce. All right, failure to appear will be ordered. Kimyetta Chance Hall.
I'm ma'am.
Oh, Mr. Boyce. Okay. Mr. Boyce, can I see you, please?
Okay, give me a second.
All right, so Mr. Boyce, you are charged with improper lane change. Are you prepared to go forward with a trial at this time, or did you wish to speak with the state to determine if there's a plea that you'd be willing to accept?
I'm gonna go forward with a trial, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have an attorney representing you, or are you representing yourself?
I represent myself.
All right. Are you over 21?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is the state ready for trial on Buckley?
Your Honor, I don't see Officer Cox on here. Let me confirm with Chief Investigator Henderson to make sure that he is present, or see if he's attempting to get on now.
All right. Chance Hall, Mietta Chance Hall.
State requests a failure to appear, Your Honor.
Failure to appear for Chance Hall, Kimyetta Chance Hall. Any announcement on Boyce?
Let's see. Our officer said he would be available when we contact him, Your Honor. We're trying to contact him now to see if he's having technical difficulties.
Cairo Gilliard. Cairo Gilliard.
State requests failure to appear subject to good notice.
Last call for Cairo Gilliard. All right, there's still somebody with an iPhone designation. Please change your name so that we know who you are. All right, FTA for Gilliard. Hunt. Hunt has 5 cases. Taylor Chanel Hunt. Taylor Chanel Hunt. Taylor Chanel Hunt.
State's going to request a failure to appear, and Your Honor, I did get an update that Officer Cox is just having connection issues.
Okay. The issue I have though is if I call somebody and they don't appear, y'all quick to ask for an FTA or a bench warrant, but then when I call for your officers, I'm not getting them when I call for them.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
All right. So I'm ready to go forward on Boyce. Y'all aren't ready.
And Your Honor, I will also submit to the court that although the state does request an FTA when a defendant does not appear, if a defendant does show up late, the court essentially may allow the defendant at that point to move forward. Your Honor, the state would request, if possible, the court will allow a couple of minutes to see what officers are present, and then we'll be able to give a better announcement to the court. I've been marking off what officers that I've seen present, but just so that we can give a better response to the court, Your Honor, we can just have a couple of minutes, and then we'll be able to update the court with better announcements at that time.
All right. Is it just me who's frozen, or is everybody having a little glitch?
I think it's everybody, Your Honor, because I wasn't sure if anyone heard me because this is going in and out.
I can hear you,
All right.
Judge. You was a little frozen though, Judge. Everybody else
Yeah.
was fine, but you was a little froze.
Dwight Everett Johnson Jr. Dwight.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. Johnson, can you get someplace with a little bit more light for me?
Oh, yes, ma'am. But my front, I'm gonna have an issue with my front camera, so I wouldn't be able to.
Okay, it's not the camera. It is pitch black where you are. All I'm seeing is shadow. So you might need to get up out the bed, go to some place where it looks like you are ready to conduct business.
Okay.
I'm not sure why you would invite me into your bedroom, but I'm not. I don't want to be there. No.
No, ma'am. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Thank you. All right. The state ready on Johnson?
Your Honor, the state would like a moment to speak with the defendant.
That's not what I asked you.
Your Honor,
No,
the officer is on leave.
If the state is not ready, if the state is not ready, the solution is not to ask to speak to the person and then work out a plea, because they have constitutional rights that say that they don't have to plead. If you all aren't ready to go forward, y'all have the burden of proof. And so you don't shift the burden and say, okay, well, let's work out a plea, but we're not ready. Let's work out a plea. I don't like that.
Yes,
I'm not that judge who
understood.
says, okay, well, we got to we got to get something on this case at any cost. If the state's not ready and they're ready and I call the case, then.
It is not ready, Your Honor.
All right, what's the announcement?
State will null pros.
All right, so anyone here on Dwight Everett Johnson Jr., you're free to go at this time. Thank you. All right, now, did we find the officer on Boyce?
Yes, Your Honor. Officer Cox is on.
All right, and Hunt, let me see. I called her a couple of times. Taylor Chanel Hunt. All right, no answer. FTA. All right, and hold on, Mr. Boyce. We'll get your trial started in a moment. Let me get to the end of the calendar. Natalie Makacia Jones. Natalie Makacia Jones.
Your Honor, state does not see Officer Arnold. State is, well, looks like Ms. Jones has not shown up, so state will request an FTA.
Ms. Jones, Natalie Makacia Jones. FTA will be granted. All right, Tori D. Lamar. Tori D. Lamar. Tori D. Lamar.
State requests an FTA, Your Honor.
Anybody on here? FTA will be granted.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Lamar has 2 cases. All right, and next is Jontisha Lattimore. Jontisha Lattimore.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
All right, Miss Lattimore. May I see you, please? Is the state
Yes,
ready on
ma'am.
Lattimore? Oh, there you are.
State is not ready, Your Honor.
What's the announcement?
State will null pros.
All right.
Lattimore as well. Tipton.
I'm sorry.
The officers in the courtroom for Lattimore.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
State is ready, Your Honor.
All right. Shanice Ananda Liu. Shanice Ananda Liu.
She's walking up, Your Honor.
Okay. State ready on Liu.
Is Officer Tyler Santos in the courtroom or Officer Musadin Shamar in the courtroom?
No. I have a witness, but not the officer.
I think a witness is present in the courtroom.
Wait,
The state will be ready for that one.
Hey, that shit look. Did they got a new camera? The fuck? So hold on.
Officer Pickens, may you please mute your mic?
We
please?
Pickens, you don't have to get fired. You're talking too much on the mic. Oh, he muted quick on that one. All right. Y'all know that's the first thing you learn as a police officer. Watch your channel. Albert K. Murray. Albert K. Murray.
Your Honor, the state will be requesting an FTA.
He's in the courtroom.
Mr. Murray's in the courtroom.
All right.
You see if Mr. Arnold is present. State will be moving to null pros.
All right. So, Mr. Murray, your case will be no pros. I also no pros Johnson. Saw Mr. Dwight Johnson still on the line. Mr. Johnson, you're free to go at this time. Your case has been no pros.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
You're
good day.
welcome. You too. So we're ready so far on Boyce and Liu. Miss Liu is in the courtroom. Boyce is on video. And next case is Parker, Donald Parker. That's Mr. Ruff, Adam Ruff.
Yeah, I have a waiver was filed on December the 13th, 2024. Wasn't sure if counsel intending on a jury trial, but I have it as a waiver.
Well, he must mean a jury trial if he's waiving the bench trial. So, Miss Val, I guess, are y'all accusing those?
Your Honor, so this doesn't appear that it was closed for us to accuse it. Typically, we do accuse it once there is an attorney on it. This may have just fell through the cracks, but the state is announcing ready. We just see the waiver, the officer is present.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, this is a trial calendar. I'm not sure how you waive a trial calendar.
Maybe he thought it was arraignment. I'm not sure. Mr. Ruff.
Can you call him Miss Val? Because this is an actual calendar. Is Donald Parker present? You probably told him not to show up. Yeah, that's weird. Hold on that. Let's give him a call. Because you all are ready. So Jafoa Kamaya Parks.
I'm here, but that's not how you say my first name.
Well, ma'am, I'm looking at what's on my calendar. It may be wrong. What is your first name?
Jada, Jaida.
Okay, they have Jafoa. I'm sorry. I'm just reading what
No
they have.
problem.
I don't know you personally. All right. Stay ready on Parks.
One moment, Your Honor. Do we have a Mia Alexander or Imani Winston on the call?
Yeah, Alexander.
Yes, Your Honor. State is ready.
All right. So, Ms. Parks, they're ready to go forward with the trial. Did you want the opportunity to speak with them about a plea, or are you ready for a trial?
Can I speak with him about a plea?
All right. I'll put you in a breakout room with them in a moment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Maurice Sharps.
You can leave.
Maurice Sharps.
Is Officer Garcia on the call or in the courtroom?
Last call for Maurice Sharps. Sharps, Sharps. Are they in the courtroom?
No, ma'am.
They would be
Okay.
requesting an FTA, Your Honor.
FTA granted. Next is Tye, Shelanda Event Tye. Ms. Tye was on the screen.
Right here.
All
I'm
right,
here.
Ms. Tye. Y'all ready on time?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is ready.
All right, Ms. Tye, you ready for a trial, or did you wish to speak with the state about a plea?
Wow.
Okay. Ready on trial. And you representing yourself, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you over 18? I mean, oh, sorry, over 21?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Parks, are you over 21?
No, ma'am.
Okay, how old are you, Ms. Parks?
I'm 19.
All right. So, Ms. Parks, are you trying to represent yourself?
I guess so.
Yeah,
Okay.
the answer that I have from Ms. Parks is that she would like to speak with the state.
Yeah, I said I
That-
want with this day.
Okay,
Going to try.
that works. I'll put you in a breakout room.
And if anything changes, Your Honor, I'll be sure to update the court.
I got you. Summer, Krishan Wynn. Summer Wynn.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
All right. So, Ms. Wynn, you're before the court for speaking. Is the state ready on Wynn?
Your Honor, I just needed to call for the officer. I don't see him present, but I'm not sure if he's in the courtroom. Is Officer Ray Ford present, either in the courtroom or on Zoom? Your Honor, the state will be moving to no cross.
All right. Ms. Wynn, your case will be no problem. You're free to go at this time, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So I have Boyce for trial, Lou for trial, Parks wishes to speak to the state, and Tye for trial. So who has Parks?
I have Parks, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Tipton, are you ready to go forward on Boyce?
I am, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to put Miss Tye Miss Parks in a breakout room with Deputy Chief Ponder. Then I'm going to start the trial for Mr. Boyce. Breakout room number one is Miss Parks. You'll get an invitation to the breakout room, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, there you go. All right, so ready on Boyce. Mr. Boyce, you're before the court for case 2023 TK 19669 for improper lane change, Sean Buckley Boyce. Mr. Boyce, you've chosen to represent yourself. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're over 21.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The state is ready.
Yes, Your Honor.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I truly apologize. I am the witness for Parks. Do I leave now? What do
No,
I
ma'am. Just hold on until they come back with an announcement.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. No problem. Just hold on just 1 second. All right, Mr. Tipton, the court is ready on State versus Boyce.
Yes, Your Honor. State's going to call Officer Kenneth Cox to the Zoom call. Officer Cox, if you would unmute and turn your camera on,
Yes, sir.
please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Lower your hand, please. Thank you. I'm sorry, Your Honor, did you say something?
No, that's radio traffic.
Oh, my
I'm sorry, I
apologies.
turned it down.
My apologies. Officer, please state and spell your name for the record.
Yes, sir. Officer Kenneth Cox, Kenneth, last name Cox, Cox,
Okay, where do you currently work?
at the Clayton County Police Department.
And what do you do for Clayton County PD?
I'm a police officer, sir.
Okay, how long have you been there?
I'm going on 6 years.
And being a police officer, are you post certified?
Yes, sir.
Being post certified, are you certified to investigate crimes, issue citations, and make arrests based on those observations?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to draw your attention to November 21st of 2023. Were you working for CCPD at that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you recall being on duty that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you uniformed?
Yes, sir.
Were you in a marked patrol car?
Yes, sir.
What were your duties that day?
Duties today consisted of responding to calls for service, including traffic vehicle accidents, disturbances, domestic violence, multiple calls, like multiple incidents like that.
Okay. Do you recall coming to I-75 at or near Mount Zion Boulevard that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What brought you to that location?
A vehicle accident occurred between the defendant and the other party. I believe his name was Mr. Joseph. So they were both parties stated they were traveling on I-75 South near Mount Zion. Mr. Boyce stated unknown vehicle almost struck his vehicle, and to avoid the collision, he had make a sudden lane change. In the process of making that lane change, he made accidental contact with the other vehicle, and the driver too basically confirmed his statement. So I affirm, Mr. Boyce, I take his statement in consideration, but he still be at fault for this vehicle accident.
Okay. Now that location, which is on I-75 near the exit for Mount Zion, at or near the exit, excuse me, is that within the boundaries of Clayton County?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you see the defendant on the Zoom call today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you identify him by a piece of clothing he's wearing?
Oh, yes, sir. He's in a military personnel uniform.
Okay. Okay. And let's see. So based on what you saw, did you issue a citation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, to whom did you issue the citation to?
Mr. Boyce got a citation for improper lane change.
Okay. Did you issue a citation to anyone else involved in that
No.
collision?
I apologize. No, sir.
Okay. Okay, based on your knowledge, training, and experience, do you have an opinion about what caused the accident?
So what caused the accident is when Mr. Boyd made an erratic lane change, and before obviously he didn't look over, and he made contact with vehicle 2.
Okay. Did you ascertain if the vehicle driven by the defendant was driven as nearly as reasonable, entirely within a single lane of traffic?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it one more time, sir?
Yeah. Did you ascertain whether the vehicle driven by Mr. Boyce was driven as nearly as reasonable within a single lane of traffic?
No, sir. So he merged over. And he didn't maintain his lane.
Okay. And based on your knowledge, training, and experience, was the movement that the defendant made a safe movement?
No, sir.
Okay. So, did you observe damage to the vehicle?
Yes, sir. So Mr. Boyd's vehicle had damage to the on the driver's side near the front, and the other vehicle 2, had damage to the passenger side towards the front as well.
Okay. Was that consistent with the story that both parties told you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
All right. So, Mr. Boyce, as the defendant in this case, you have the right to question any witnesses that are brought by the state. You do not have to make any testimony or give any evidence or testimony on your behalf. The state has the burden of proving the case beyond a reasonable doubt. You can ask questions of any of their witnesses, but please don't make any statements or tell me what happened from your perspective until we ascertain whether you are going to waive your Fifth Amendment right to offer testimony in this case. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so do you have any questions for this officer? And they don't have to be asked a certain way. Just conversationally ask him whatever it is you need me to know.
No, ma'am. Not this time. No, ma'am.
All right. All right. Does the state have additional witnesses or evidence to present?
No, Your Honor, the state rests at this time.
All right. At this time, Mr. Boyce, did you wish to present any evidence or testimony?
No evidence. Well,
all right. So you can argue based on the testimony that you've heard. You can present an argument, and Mr. Tipton is going to be able to present an argument also. Mr. Tipton, did you wish to present an argument at this time?
Your Honor, state's going to reserve.
Okay. Mr. Boyce, did you wish to present an argument at this time?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, sir.
So someone moves in my lane, and so in order to avoid the car, I got to move in the other lane, and that accident happened.
All right. All right, Mr. Tipton.
Your Honor, at this point, the state will submit on the facts.
All right. So at this time, the court is going to find Mr. Boyce not guilty. Had Mr. Boyce just erratically made a lane change and run into the other vehicle without anything causing that, the court would have found him guilty. But in this case, both drivers admitted or stated to the officer that Mr. Boyce made the lane change because he was trying to avoid another collision. And so with that being said, the intent was not there to cause the accident. It was to avoid another collision, and he essentially reacted. So at this time, the court is going to find Mr. Boyce not guilty.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Boyce. Anything else at this time?
I'm good, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. You're free to go, sir.
Thank you.
Your camera is off.
Thank you, Officer Cox.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Guess we're waiting on an announcement still from the state on Tye, but we are ready on Lou. Is that your case, Mr. Tipton, or is that Ms. Ponder?
Your Honor.
Oh, Ms. Ponder's back.
Yes, I am. I have an announcement for Ms. Park's case, Your Honor. Also, I can provide the court some information regarding Mr. Parker's case. First, for Mr. Parker's case, Your Honor, the state did send over a PIA to Attorney Ruff. The reason why it was not formally accused with a CR number. However, it's my understanding we have not received that back. So if the court is inclined to maybe follow up with Mr. Ruff, that's fine. The officer is present, but that's why it is on today's calendar to see if we would have received it by then.
All right. So Mr. Ruff will just follow up that he needs to get those PIA, that the PIA is 2 cases, if I'm not mistaken. Get those PIAs in for the cases that he filed waivers. And then at this time, if you all wish to release the officer, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. And I believe Officer Pickens may have another case, but I'll just review before I release him. As far as Ms. Jada Parks, Your Honor, I did speak with Ms. Parks and she would like to accept the state's recommendation. The recommendation is a $100 fine, NOLO, and I also have her email address for the clerk as well. The state is ready when the court is ready, Your Honor.
I am ready right now. Ms. Parks.
And Your
Yes.
Honor, while you're taking that plea, may I go down to speak with my witnesses in the courtroom?
Yes,
Thank you.
Ms. Parks, raise your right hand for me.
Can you say that again?
Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. So, Ms. Parks, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Jada. Yeah, they had it all wrong on here. Jada Kamaya Parks for improper lane change, case 2023 TK 18053, and you're entering a plea of nolo, is my understanding. By doing so, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration standings. You understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Factual basis, Miss Ponder.
Yes, Your Honor. On October the 20th, 2023, officers were dispatched to Mount Zion Road and Fielder Road in regards to a motor vehicle accident. When officers arrived on scene, they made contact with two individuals, one being the defendant before you, Ms. Parks. Officers learned during the course of their investigation that the defendant was driving straight, then got over into the left turning lane and struck vehicle number 2. Those are the facts of the case, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is a $100 fine. The state does not object to a NOLO, and the victim is not seeking restitution at this time.
All right. So, Ms. Parks, the fine is going to be $100. It'll be $151.50 with the surcharge. And did you need? I give you 30 days because you're not at the courthouse. Did you need 60 days to pay?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to give you 30 days to pay. What we're going to do is we're going to send your email address to the court clerk. She's going to email you the paperwork. It'll have the exact date by which you need to pay. A couple of cautions, Ms. Parks. Number one, you're still under 21. And as an under 21 driver, it only takes 4 points on your license to suspend you for 6 months. And it would be a hard suspension, meaning no permit or for school or work. So you would be 6 months without a license at all. Okay. The second thing is that you've been given 30 days in which to pay. Please make sure you put a reminder in your phone. You do not miss that deadline. Okay. You can pay online or by phone. That information should also be in the email, or you can come into the second floor of the Clayton County Justice System at 9151 Terra Boulevard in Jonesboro, Georgia. If you miss that deadline, the possibility exists that an arrest warrant could issue for failure to complete a suspended sentence, okay? And we don't want that. So just make sure that you pay it within the time allotted, all right?
Yes, ma'am. And I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was looking for the ticket to pay before court, I couldn't find it with neither the citation number, the case number, or my driver license number.
I'm not sure why that is because I've never actually had to do the search part. I've heard that before, not very often, but I've heard it before. But I will ask them to, I'll ask one of the ladies in the traffic court clerk's office to see if she can find it and see if there's some kind of glitch, okay? All right. But it showed up on my calendar, and it also showed up with the solicitor in the clerk's office, I guess, from their perspective. But I've never had to actually search the portal side for people who are coming in with a ticket. Okay, but thank you for that, and I will check. So, Ms. Parks, you good to go? Anything else at this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if you don't see your email immediately, make sure you check your spam folder.
Okay, thank you.
All right, be safe, Ms. Parks.
You as well.
All right, take care.
And anyone on the Parks case, any witnesses, officers, or victims, you are excused, and thank you for coming.
Yeah. All right. And I think the next two trials are Lou and Tye.
Your Honor, I know that Mr. Tipton is speaking maybe with an officer or a defendant. However, the state is ready to proceed on Tye. I know the officer was present at the call of the calendar. Okay, yes, the state is still announcing ready.
Okay, Ms. Tye, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Ms. Tye, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Shelanda Tye, 2023 TK 15685 for too fast for conditions, and 2023 TK 15686 for improper lane change. Ms. Tye, you are representing yourself. You're over 21, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You do not have to give any evidence or testimony. It is the burden of the state to prove the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You can ask questions of any witnesses that they bring for trial, but you do not have to. And please don't make any statements about what you think happened from your perspective until such time as we decide whether you are going to waive your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination and offer testimony in this case. Did you understand all of those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Ms. Ponder, you may begin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer, may you please unmute yourself, please? May you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. May you please state your first and last name for the record, and then spell your first and last name, please.
Officer Daryl Clevenger, Darrell Clevenger.
All right, Officer Clevenger. How are you currently employed?
I'm employed with Clayton County Police Department.
And being employed with the Clayton County Police Department, does it require you to be post certified?
For uniform patrol, yes.
And on this date, September the 16th, 2023, were you in fact post certified?
I was.
And does it give you the authority to issue traffic citations?
Yes.
Okay. I want to draw your attention to this incident date. Did you conduct a traffic stop on I-675 and Forest Parkway?
No, ma'am. I responded to a vehicle accident.
Okay. And where was the location of that vehicle accident?
It was 675 between Forest Parkway and Highway 42.
Okay. Here in Clayton County, Georgia?
It is.
Okay. And did you make contact with the Shelanda Tye?
Upon my arrival on scene, EMS was assessing her. I did try to speak with her, at which point she was still being assessed and injured pending transport.
Okay. And what happened when you arrived on scene?
I arrived on scene. I initially seen EMS assessing Ms. Tye, and I started to look around to get a visual of the accident scene. I tried to speak with Ms. Tye about what happened. She had advised me that she was going southbound and that there was a puddle of water in the roadway that she had hit, which in turn caused her to leave her lane of travel and go off road, at which point she hit a pothole that was in the grass median. And then she had flipped and hit a like a utility pole or some metal pole that's in the median. There was also a witness on scene who corroborated that story, stating that they was traveling the opposite direction when they observed the accident happen.
Okay. And did you issue citations to Ms. Tye?
On scene, before I had written the citations, EMS was trying to transport Ms. Tye to the hospital, but 2 citations were written for.
Okay. And what were the two citations?
They were written for improper lane change or failure to maintain lane, and too fast for conditions because it was still rainy out and the roads were wet.
Okay. Nothing further at this time, officer. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Tye, did you have any questions for Officer Clevenger?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Any other witnesses for the state?
No, no other witnesses for the state, Your Honor, from the state.
All right. Ms. Tye, at this time, ma'am, as I said, the state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to give any evidence or testimony. If you wish to testify at this time, then I will swear you in, and we will go over your rights with you. Did you wish to offer any testimony at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you understand that nobody can force you to testify or coerce you to testify in any way.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can put your hand down. All right. So, Ms. Shelanda Tye, go ahead and tell me what it is you wish the court to know.
Everything I was saying is true, but only thing was, it was still pouring down raining. And I wasn't going at like 30 miles per hour because everybody like had their blinkers on, couldn't nobody see. So I don't think I should get no ticket for that. Like it was the water, like I hydroplaned the water, and I don't feel like it's not my fault.
Okay. And you said everybody else was driving along.
Yes, everybody going like 30, like was cars in front of me. Everybody was going like 30, between 25 and 30 miles per hour. It was actually pouring down.
Okay. And so was there anybody else who had an accident such as yours?
No, it was a car in front of me, like a little small truck. When he hit the same spot I hit, it pulled him to the right side. 'Cause we was in the last lane. It was like the last lane, like what they call the fast lane. We was in that lane. It pulled him to the right hand side. And then I'm like, I thought he finna hit something, but when I got up there, by the time I got there, it pulled me to the left hand side to the grass. And that's where it speeded my truck up at the time. And it was a big old hole inside the grass in the median. And that's where it hit my truck, and I don't know what happened after that. I don't know what happened. It just happened so fast, and when the truck stopped, I know I was in the back seat, and somebody pulled me out, and the ambulance was there like in 15 seconds, I believe. And they transferred me to Grady, and I had like broken bones and all that.
All right. Ms. Ponder, did you have any questions for Ms. Tye?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Did you have anything else at this time, Ms. Tye?
No.
All right. Anything else at this time from the state?
No, Your Honor, this argument.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor, the state would ask this court to find the defendant guilty for too fast for conditions and improper lane change, as Ms. Tye has testified to the court. She has admitted, well, she did testify that everything the officer said was true, and that it was raining. And so, but for her traveling at such a speed that was less safe, she didn't have an opportunity to slow down, or she didn't have an opportunity to prevent an accident. Luckily, she's okay and that no one else was injured. However, based upon her speed and the condition of the roadway, I would argue to the court that she was in fact going too fast. And then as far as the improper lane change, Your Honor, as she had testified herself, her car went over to the left-hand side and ended up appeared to be a ditch or a grassy area. And so for that, Your Honor, the state would ask this court to find her guilty for both citations.
All right, Ms. Tye?
Yes.
All right, so at this time, the court is going to find you guilty of too fast for conditions, not guilty of improper lane change. And the reason is, whatever the conditions are, you have to adjust to those. And I understand that everybody else might have been doing 20, 35, 25, 35 on that street. But as you approach the hazard that you saw the car in front of you, you may have had to slow way down. Sometimes you got to drive almost at a standstill in a pouring rain shower, but you have to meet, your speed has to meet the conditions that the weather presents. So I'll find you guilty of too fast for the conditions, but not guilty of improper lane change because it wasn't your intention to change lanes. It was what happened to your car once you hit the defect in the road. And so that it would be a not guilty. Any recommendations on sentencing on too fast for condition?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation at this time is a $300 fine just based upon the defendant's driving history. She does have some old traffic offenses as far as reckless driving, speeding, improper lane change, multiple speeding. But as I indicated, that was 10 years ago. However, in the most recent in DeKalb County, within 5 years, she was cited for speeding 71 to 45. And for that, Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $300 fine.
All right. The court is going to fine her $100, Miss Tye. That's going to be $151.50 with the surcharges. The last citation was a while ago. You weren't, because of the conditions of the traffic, you weren't going excessively, you weren't speeding excessively. It's just that your speed was too fast for what the conditions demanded. So a $100 fine, $151.50 with the surcharges. I always give a person who's not at the courthouse at least 30 days to pay. Ms. Tye, can you send your email address to the clerk so that we can email you this? All right, so
I do that?
I'm gonna walk you through it. Do you know how to use the chat function?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so go to the chat function. When you see the name that's in blue, for you, it should be everyone maybe. Click on that and you'll see the first name after everyone should be Amanda, A-M-A-N-D. I'm sorry, A-M-A-N-D-A, Wright, R-Y-T-E.
Yes, sir.
Okay, send her your email address and please check it twice to make sure that all the letters and numbers are in the correct spot. When you get your sentencing sheet, it will tell you exactly when you need to pay. You can pay online, by phone, or by coming into the building on the second floor.
All right, I just sent it, yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
I just sent it to her, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now, Miss Tye, your driving history tells me that you probably need to, at some point, you might need to take a driver improvement course or slow way down. Maybe you've already started that process.
I don't speed no more. I don't hardly drive.
I got you. Okay.
Since that car accident, I can't work. I can't do nothing no more. So,
Okay.
car broke like 3 ribs, 4 places in my spine, and all that. So.
Oh my goodness! I'm so sorry to hear that, ma'am. All right then. Like I said, you can pay online or by phone. Just make sure you pay it on or before the deadline. Okay.
You said 30 days.
Yeah. Did you need more than 30 days? I can give you up to 60.
Yes, give me 6 to be on the safe side.
All right, no problem, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank y'all very much.
All right, take care, Miss Wright. That'll be 60 days. Okay. All right, next is I guess what did we say for Lattimore? I'm sorry, I believe Miss Lattimore was in the courtroom.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, I am.
Oh no, she's online. Go ahead.
The witness that's in the courtroom is for Lattimore. The witness in the courtroom for Lou is actually the defense's witness, so the state is moving to null pros.
No pros, Lou? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Miss Lou, you are free to go at this time. Thank you.
And the witness for Lattimore, Officer Rodriguez, is in the courtroom, so state is ready on Lattimore.
Okay, Miss Lattimore, are you ready, or did you wish to speak with the state about a possible plea?
I'm ready, I guess.
Okay, are you representing yourself, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you over 21?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you've seen the other 2 trials, so you know how these go, right?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I said, can you repeat that? I missed the first part, I'm
I said
sorry.
you've seen the other 2 trials that I've had, so you're aware of kind of how this goes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. So I'm ready on the next case. So that would be Lattimore.
Yes, Your Honor. It's going to call Mr. Andrew Rodriguez to the Zoom call. He is in the courtroom. Officer Rodriguez, if you would walk up to the evidence PC, please, sir. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir.
All right, please lower your hand. Officer, please state and spell your name for the record.
Repeat that, sir.
Please state and spell your name for the record.
It's gonna be Andrew Rodriguez, AndrewRodriguez.
Okay, and where do you currently work, sir?
Clayton County Police Department.
Okay. And what do you do for Clayton County Police Department?
I'm a uniform patrol officer.
As a uniform patrol officer, are you post certified?
Yes, sir.
Being post certified, are you authorized to investigate crimes, issue citations, and make arrests based on your observations?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how long have you been with Clayton County PD?
I've been with the department about 1.5 years now, sir.
Okay. So I want to draw your attention to November 16th of 2024. Were you working with Clayton County PD at the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you working on November 16th of 2024?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you uniformed?
Yes, sir.
Were you in a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Generally speaking, what were your duties that day?
Answering calls for service, traffic enforcement.
Okay. Did you have occasion to go to Old Dixie Highway at or near Frontage Road?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, why were you there, sir?
I was actually on the way to a separate call when I observed a traffic infraction in front of me.
Okay. And did you initiate a traffic stop?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you make contact with the driver?
Yes, sir.
Do you see the driver on the Zoom call?
What was that, sir?
Do you see the driver on the Zoom call?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you identify her for me?
Yes, Miss Lattimore, wearing the white top.
Okay. Thank you. So you said you observed a traffic violation. Can you tell what the traffic violation was?
It was an improper lane change.
Okay. And can you describe the movement, the lane change as that you believe was improper?
So the initial lane change was conducted in the intersection of Upper Riverdale going onto Old Dixie. She was in the far right lane, which was initially designated to go straight to go onto the I-75 South ramp. She conducted a left turn to go onto Old Dixie when there was no designated left turn for her. And she almost caused a vehicle accident with a vehicle to her left.
Okay. So are you saying that she changed lanes in the during the she changed lanes in the intersection?
Yes, sir.
Based on your knowledge, training, and experience, is it safe to change lanes in the intersection?
It is unsafe to do what she did.
Okay. And is it legal to change lanes in the intersection?
No, sir.
Did you issue citations to anyone else that day?
No, sir.
Okay. Did all this occur in Clayton County?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Make it big.
Yeah.
And okay, at this time, I have no further questions for this officer.
All right. Ms. Lattimore, you do not have to give any evidence or testimony. You have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. The state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. If you wish to testify, hold off. Don't make any statements telling us what you believe happened until I determine whether you're going to testify. But at this time, any witnesses that the state offers, you can ask questions of those witnesses. Ask questions only, don't make statements. Did you wish to ask this officer any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. All right. Does the state have any additional witnesses or evidence to present?
No, Your Honor. State rests at this time.
Okay. Ms. Lattimore, the state has rested its case. Did you wish to present any evidence or testimony? You're not required to, and the state has the burden of proof.
I just honestly was going to say that in the midst
Hold
of
on,
that,
hold on,
I honestly,
hold on, Ms. Lattimore. You have to answer my specific question. Did you
oh,
wish
I'm
to
sorry.
answer testimony?
Oh, yes.
Okay. You understand that nobody can force you to testify or give you anything as a promise of something positive happening to get you to testify.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So at this time, you're waiving your right to remain silent and you're offering testimony. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Lattimore. Tell me what you need me to know.
I honestly was just going to say, in the midst of driving, I honestly thought the lane that I was in either went straight in or to the right. But when I went back, the officer was indeed correct. I did not know that the lane I was in was only for the going to the highway, because that's not the lane I meant to be in. I thought I was in the lane that went straight. But either way, I also wanted to say that I actually did pay the ticket. I was originally just trying to figure out if the ticket carried points and how to either have those reduced or nullified.
Okay. So, okay. So you said you thought the lane went straight, but you're really here to figure out how to get your points reduced.
No, neither. I'm here because I just received the notice in the mail saying that I had to be in
Okay,
court.
I'm having a real hard time hearing you, ma'am. There's something going on with your Wi-Fi.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry.
1 second. You hear me a little bit better now?
Yes, that's much better.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was saying that I actually paid the ticket. I'm here because I saw in my mailbox that I still had to show up for court, even though I did pay the ticket.
Okay.
Excuse me, just about a month or so ago. And so I was a little shocked to even see the letter in the mail, because I was originally trying to get the court date prior, but was unable to prior to then. So I just wanted to make sure that I showed up since I had to be here.
Okay. All right. Well, based on the testimony, you've already paid the ticket, which is an admission of guilt, but based on the testimony, I would have found you guilty anyway. And you've already paid. So at this point, the court will accept the amount paid as your sentence. But if it's about getting your points reduced, so the Department of Driver Services, periodically, I think it's every 5 years, you can take a driver improvement course. The courses are offered through they're not offered through the Georgia Department of Driver Services, but they're approved by Georgia Department of Driver Services. So if you go on their website, there's a pull down menu for driver improvement courses. Take the one that's most convenient to you. They'll offer you the type of certificate that driver improvement, that the Georgia Department of Driver Services and courts will approve. So take one of the ones that's listed on the website for the Georgia State Department of Driver Services. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You.
All right. Well, you're free to go. You've already paid. Thank you.
Right. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That I believe concludes the 10 a.m. calendar. Did I miss anything?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So I have Abner and Aguilar were both closed. Boyce was a trial, not guilty. Hall, Chance Hall, FTA, Gilliard, FTA, Hunt, FTA times 5, Johnson, no pros, Jones, FTA, Lamar, FTA times 2, Lattimore, guilty, Lou, and no pros, Murray, no pros, Parker, was a, PIA, and a waiver for the PIA. Parks was a no low plea. Sharp, FTA. Tye, was a, guilty on too fast, not guilty on improper lane change, and Wynn was a no pros. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin the 11 o'clock calendar. I'll call that calendar in a minute. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the 11 a.m. bench trial, traffic bench trial calendar. These are actually trials, so I'll ask the state if they're ready. I'll ask you if you're ready. If you are ready to go to trial, if the state is ready to go to trial, but you wish to speak with the state about a possible plea in this case, you can do that. And you may decide to take a plea instead of going to trial. But if you don't wish to do that, we can go straight to trial, or you can talk to them about a plea. And if you don't reach an agreement, we can still go to trial. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call your name. When I call you, please make sure that you unmute if you're on video so that I know that you are here. Please put your first and last name on the screen so that we can make sure that when I need to move you around or to find out if you're here, I'll have that ability. I have 2 screens up because we have a lot of people on the calendar, so it may be hard for me to see that you're here. So if I call your name, please make sure that you unmute and respond. Otherwise, keep your device muted. First name on the calendar is Jennifer Altman. Jennifer Altman. Jennifer Altman. Aultman.
Your Honor, state's going to request an FTA be issued.
All right. FTA, yes.
And we do have a victim on this case. I believe that
It's another case, Mr. Tipton.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So FTA will be granted.
May Officer Killarova, you're excused.
Yeah, if she's not on anything else, that's fine.
Thank you.
Damone, you're welcome. Damone Bailey. Damone Bailey. Last call for Damone Bailey.
It's going to request an FTA.
And may this victim be excused, Your Honor.
Yes. Damone Bailey has 2 cases. All right, next is Philip Daniel Chapman. Philip Daniel Chapman. Last call for Philip Daniel Chapman.
State's going to request an FTA, Your Honor.
All right, FTA will be granted. Mark Anthony Davis. Mark Anthony Davis. Last call for Mark Anthony Davis.
State's going to request a failure to appear be issued, Your Honor.
FTA will be granted.
Trooper Chavez, you're excused if you don't have anything else. I don't see any other cases on the calendar. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Davis had 2 cases. So John H. Dorsey. John H. Dorsey. Last call for John H. Dorsey.
State's going to request a failure to appear be issued, Your Honor.
Will be granted.
And state's going to request that our victim and witnesses be excused.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Santonio Durrell James. Santonio Durrell James. Last call for Santonio Durrell James.
State's going to request a failure to appear be issued, Your Honor, and that our officer be excused.
Yes. Failure to appear will be issued if the officer is excused. Ronnie Eugene Johnson. Ronnie.
Yeah.
All right. So Mr. Johnson,
Yes,
please.
We are ready on that, Your Honor.
All right. The state is ready for a trial on your case, sir. Are you ready to go to trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can you start your video for me?
1 second. I wrote this down for
All right, so while you work on that, I'm gonna keep going down the list. Edie or Eddie C. Johnson. Eddie C. Johnson.
Please go and
Sorry,
request.
I got that wrong. Eddie C. Joseph. Eddie C. Joseph. Last call for Eddie C. Joseph.
Your Honor, state's going to request a penalty to appear be issued and our officer be excused.
Yes, FTA officer will be excused. Ramirez Cesar de Jesus Leyva. Ramirez. I saw Mr. Leyva. Okay, Mr. Johnson, I see your video. That's good. Mr. Leyva was on. Cesar Leyva. Necesito interpretar de español, Mr. Leyva, señora Leyva. Let's see if we can get Mr. Leyva to share the video. All right, so I see Mr. Leyva, but I can't get him to respond. There. Cesar Leyva. 1 second.
Yeah,
Sir?
yes.
Okay, you don't need an interpreter. You're good, right?
I speak English, but I understand most of it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you need one, it's fine. We'll get one.
You're
For
on.
a trial, I would rather have an interpreter because you have 2 cases also. Yeah, if Mr. Dow, if we could call one of the interpreters, that would be wonderful. So
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Leyva, so just hold on for me for a minute, all right?
Okay. All right.
Thank you. All right. All right, James A. Parker. James A. Parker. All right, Mr. Parker's in the courtroom.
State is ready, Your Honor. Officers on Zoom.
All right, Mr. Parker, are you ready to go forward with the plea? I mean, with the trial?
However, I can't speak to Mr. Parker if he would like, but the state is ready.
Mr. Parker?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so the state is ready to go forward with the trial. If you wish to speak to them about a possible plea, you can, but otherwise we'll go forward with the trial in a moment.
Okay, I'd like to go forward with the trial.
Okay, all right, we'll just have a seat. We'll call you up when it's time. Joy J. Richards.
Here.
All right, Miss Richards. So Miss Richards, you have 3 citations. Are you ready to go forward with the trial?
Yes.
Okay. The state ready?
Yeah, I just need to call for Officer Darren Williams if he's in the courtroom. I don't see him on Zoom.
Is Officer Williams in the courtroom?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, since the officer is not present, the state will be moving to null pros Ms. Richards' cases. What citations?
All right, Miss Richards, your citations will be null. Miss Richards, where are you? All right. So your citations are going to be null pros, ma'am. So you had a central lane violation, improper lane change, and wrong side of the road. Miss Richards, okay, do better. Wrong side of the road, you could end up dead. Okay.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I wasn't on the wrong side of the road.
Okay. Well,
so I have a video. Yeah. So
no, you're good. There are no process in the cases, but I'm just asking you to be careful. Okay. You don't want to get charged with any of this stuff. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Way to go. Thank you. Be safe.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right. You too. All right. So next is Ayana Nicole Riley. Ayana Nicole Riley. I'm looking on the screen. I don't see a Riley. I don't see a Ayana. Somebody has Thomas's iPhone. Please put your first and last name on the screen so we'll know that you're here in case you have any technical difficulties. Let's call for Ayana Nicole Riley.
Your Honor, say we requesting an FTA.
FTA.
And may the witnesses be excused.
Witnesses may be excused. Ms. Riley has 2 cases. All right. Rollins, Sean Anthony Rollins.
Yeah, and I did see Mr. Rollins on earlier.
I
I'm
think he's
here.
still here. All right.
Yeah.
If I can just make an announcement for, I think it's Officer Shanetta Flournoy. Are they in the courtroom? Your Honor, based upon that, the state is not ready to move forward. We'll move to no process case.
All right, Mr. Rollins, the case is going to be no process, sir. So please make sure you're safe. You're free to go at this time, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, Marquis O'Neill Waters. Marquis O'Neill Waters.
Your Honor,
Last
the
call.
state is requesting an FTA.
Okay, last call for Marquis Waters. FTA will be granted.
Also, Your Honor, under Thomas' iPhone, that is Officer Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Who was on the John Dorsey case. The court did grant the FTA, and I was just requesting if he can be excused.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Officer Thomas, thank you for coming, sir. You are excused.
All right.
You're welcome.
Last case is Tamar A. Willens, Willons, Willens, Tamar Willens.
Here.
All right, so Ms. Willens, you have suffered yield sign violation. Is the state ready on Willens?
Your Honor, the state is actually going to no process case. The state is not requesting continuance in this case.
All right, so Ms. Willens, your case has been no process and you're free to go at this time, okay?
Thank you.
All right, be safe, Ms. Willens, how old are you?
I just turned 22.
Okay, I need you to be safe, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I worry about my young drivers. All right, so from what I have Johnson is ready for trial. Parker is ready for trial. Leva is ready for trial or is waiting for an interpreter. So we're just waiting for the interpreter on Leva. So
he'll be on shortly, Judge.
Okay, no problem. So Johnson, whose case is Johnson?
My apologies, Your Honor. Were you asking, was the court asking about Johnson?
Yeah, are you ready? Because I've called the calendar. So
Yes,
the three possible trials are Johnson, Leva, and Parker, and we're just waiting on the interpreter and Leva to see what he wishes to do.
Yes, Your Honor. State's ready on Johnson. We
Okay.
have witnesses present. We have Jacqueline Bedolla, and we have
Good morning.
Ebony Gaiman as well.
Okay. All right. Ms. Romero.
Yes.
For the interpreter, Ms. Romero.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'm hearing Mr. Leva. I see you, but Ms. Romero, Marcella Romero,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I'm the interpreter on the case.
Right. All right. So, Mr. Leva, you have oh boy, hold on a second.
Señor Leiva,
Sí, dígame.
un momento, por favor. Yo soy la intérprete. Voy a traducir lo que se diga.
Okay.
Okay, may I have the case number, please?
Sure. Mr. Leva has 2023 TK 21323 for improper left turn.
Improper left turn.
He also has 2023 TK 21324 for wrong way.
Oh.
And then 2023 TK 21325 for wrong side of the road.
And Your Honor,
yes.
Now that the interpreter is on, the state wish to communicate to Mr. Leva, the state intends to null process case.
All right.
Okay. One moment, please. Buenos días, señor Leiva. Los tres casos suyos son el caso 2023 PK 21323 por inapropiadamente doblar a la de izquierda. El 2023 TK 21324 por ir en la vía contraria de la calle. Y el 202 TK 21325 por manejar en el lado incorrecto de la carretera. Y el señor Tipton acaba de decir que quiere descartar los cargos.
Ok, gracias.
Okay,
At this, all right, at this time, Mr. Leyva, you're free to go, but please, I ask that you be mindful of the rules of the road and be safe, sir.
Bueno, se puede retirar en este momento, señor Leiva. Sin embargo, quiere la juez inculcarle que por favor obedezca las leyes de la carretera y vaya, esté seguro, ¿ok?
Ok, gracias.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, anyone with the Leyva case is free to go at this time.
Todas las personas que estén asociadas con la cuestión del señor Leiva se pueden retirar.
All right, so I'm ready on Johnson, Mr. Tipton. Thank you, Ms. Romero.
Okay, do you need me for anything else, Your Honor?
No,
Or may I
ma'am,
be
you're good.
dismissed?
You're dismissed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Tipton, you may call your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's going to call Officer Ebony Gaiman to the Zoom call.
All right, so Mr. Johnson, this is the case. All right, this is 2023 TK T1176. You're being prosecuted for following too close. The state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to give any evidence or testimony. The state has to prove the charges against you with the testimony that they present. So, sir, if you wish to give evidence or testimony, you're not required to, but if you wish to do so, that will come at a later point in the trial. Just please, you will have the opportunity to question any witnesses that they have. If you have questions for them, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. But please don't make any statements until such time as I have reminded you of your rights and then determined whether you're going to testify, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. Tipton, you may begin.
Yes, Your Honor. Officer Gaiman, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please lower your hand. Okay, Officer Gaiman, if you would please state and spell your name for the record.
My name is first name Ebony, last name Gaiman, Gayman.
Okay, and where do you currently work?
Clayton County PD,
And how long have you been with Clayton County PD?
5 years.
Okay, what's your position with Clayton County PD?
A uniform patrolling.
And since you're on uniform patrol, are you post certified?
Yes.
Being post certified, are you authorized to investigate crimes, issue citations, and make arrests based on your observations?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to draw your attention to December 15th of 2023. Were you working for Clayton County PD at that time?
Yes.
Okay. Were you working that day?
Yes.
During your shift that day, were you in uniform?
Yes.
Were you in a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes.
Generally speaking, what were your duties that day?
Excuse me?
Generally speaking, what were your duties that day?
To patrol in the area.
Okay, then. Did you have occasion to go to Thomas Road at or near Fayetteville Road?
Yes.
Okay. And what brought you there that day?
I was dispatched to a vehicle accident.
Okay. And when you arrived, what did you see?
A two-car vehicle accident.
Okay. Did you make contact with either of the drivers?
Yes.
Okay. Did you make contact with Mr. Ronnie Johnson?
Yes.
You see Mr. Johnson on the Zoom call?
Yes.
Okay, can you describe him to me?
He has on a red shirt, low cut. Oh, well, I guess it's a black shirt, a black sweater with red hoodie.
Okay, like a red collar type
Mustache.
thing. I see. Okay, thank you. Okay. So when you arrived, did you observe damage to the vehicles?
Minus dent scratches.
Okay. And what kind of damage, like where was the damage located?
On which vehicle?
On both vehicles. So
I observed damage to a rear end, and I've observed damage to front end.
okay. Did it appear the vehicles had collided?
Yes.
Okay. Which vehicle so was the vehicle driven by Mr. Johnson? Was that in the front or the back?
The back.
Okay. Okay. And did you talk to Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
What did Mr. Johnson tell you happened?
That the vehicle in front of him randomly stopped.
And did you speak to the other driver, Miss Bedolla?
Yes.
Okay. What did she tell you happened?
She stopped due to oncoming traffic.
Let's see. That intersection, is it does the road intersect in such a way to where the drivers on Thomas Road would have to yield to the drivers on Fayetteville Road?
Yes.
Okay. And were they on Thomas Road or were they on Fayetteville Road?
They were on Thomas Road.
Okay. Did you issue a citation to either driver?
No.
Which driver did you issue a citation to? One driver?
Mr. Johnson.
Okay, so you did issue a citation to Mr. Johnson. What was that citation for?
Following too close.
Okay, why did you cite him specifically for following too close?
Due to his front end making contact with the rear end of the other vehicle, and once she stopped.
Okay. Based on your knowledge, training, and experience, do you believe that based on your knowledge, training, and experience, what do you believe caused the accident?
I believe it was following too close. If he gave enough space, once she stopped, he would have realized that he would have had enough time to stop as well without making contact with her vehicle.
Okay, thank you. I just have to ask one last question. Was this all in Clayton County?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions at this time for you, ma'am. Your Honor, you're muted.
All right, I'm sorry. If you wish to make any statements, you wish to ask any questions of this witness at this time, you may. Just don't make any statements until we understand whether you're ready to testify, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you have any questions for Officer Gaiman?
No, ma'am.
All right. Does the state have additional witnesses or evidence to present?
Yes, Your Honor. State's going to call Miss Jacqueline Bedolla. We would also like to excuse Officer Gaiman at this time.
All right, Ms. Bedolla?
Yes.
All right, Officer Gaiman, you may be excused. Ms. Bedolla, do you know to turn on your camera?
Okay.
All right, there you are. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
I swear.
All right, you can put your hand down. Your witness, Mr. Tipton?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Ms. Bedolla, can you just state your name? Can you state and spell your name for the record real quick for me?
Jacqueline, Jacqueline. Bedolla, B as in boy, ED as in dog, OLLA.
Okay. And were you driving on, excuse me, did you have were you involved in an automobile collision on December 15th of 2023?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe what happened for me?
I was on my way to work on December 15th around 7:20ish to 7:30. I was yielding to go to the right onto Fayetteville Road, watching for incoming traffic on that street, and I was rear-ended.
Okay. How long had you been stopped?
I've been stopped for about, I'd say, probably a minute or less.
Okay. And was it a sudden stop, or did you slow down gradually?
I slowed down gradually.
Okay. And those are all the questions I have at this time for you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, did you have any questions for Ms. Bedolla?
No, ma'am.
All right. Any need to keep Ms. Bedolla at this time, Mr. Tipton?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Bedolla, you're free to go if you wish to. You can watch the end of the trial, but if just mute your device. All right. Does the state have additional witnesses or evidence to present?
No, Your Honor. State rests at this time.
All right. So, Mr. Johnson, as I've stated, the state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to give any evidence or testimony at this time, but did you wish to give evidence or testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand you have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Nobody can make you testify. Nobody can promise you anything to get you to testify.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You may put your hand down. Go ahead, Mr. Johnson, and tell me what you want me to know.
Okay, so well, I know it's early. I don't know the Pacific time, but I know it's early in the morning. I was taking my girlfriend to our baby appointment. She was pregnant at the time, so we was at a Yale. She was already at a complete stop. So I got to the Yale, and I'm looking onto oncoming traffic too, just look for her as well. And I seen that the left lane was clear. So I looked straight, and I seen that it looked like she was taking off. Like she left her brakes, she started rolling. And then so I'm thinking she's finna take off. So I look to the left because I'm thinking I'm finna go and making sure there's no traffic coming on. And when I'm finna pull off, I turned to the right, and it was too late. She hit on brakes, like just all of a sudden, like. But it's like she was going to go because, like I said, the left lane going into whatever Fayetteville Road, it was the left lane was clear for her to go. So I don't know why she put on brakes. You know what I'm saying? So, but I wasn't following too close because, like I said, she was already at a complete stop when I got to the Yale. And I'm a truck driver, so I know about this having correct distance and all that. So I wasn't close to her. Like I said, she was already at a complete stop at the Yale. So like I said, the left lane was clear, and like she left, brakes, started rolling. So I'm thinking she's finna take off. So I looked to the left, make sure I'm clear to take off, and next thing I know, she hit on brakes, and I tapped her a little bit.
All right. Any questions, Mr. Tipton?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Did you have anything else at this time, Mr. Johnson?
No, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Tipton, any argument?
State will reserve, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Johnson, any argument, anything you wish the court to know based on the testimony that was given?
No, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Tipton?
State will submit on the facts, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Johnson, unfortunately, the court is going to have to find you guilty of the offense of too close for condition. I'm sorry. Following too close. Because, and here's the rub, is when you, even though you anticipated that she was gonna move forward because her lane was clear, or you thought her lane was clear, you looked away, but you began to move before you looked back. And so the responsibility is you gotta look first and then move. What you did was look away, and then by the time you look back, she had stopped, but you were already moving. And so you didn't leave enough space for you to be able to put down your foot on the brake or to avoid the collision. And that's essentially the basis of following too close, is that you are so close to that other driver that should something happen that causes them to stop or their way is impeded, you don't have enough of a space or cushion between the two of you so that you can stop and avoid hitting them. Okay.
Yes,
At this time, I'll find you guilty. Mr. Tipton, is there a recommendation for sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. It's going to be a $200 fine is the state's recommendation.
All right, the court is going to give a $100 fine. The fine will be $151.50 with the surcharges. Mr. Johnson, do you know how to do the chat function?
no, ma'am.
All right. So, Ms. Wright, if you could send Mr. Johnson a test chat. So, Mr. Johnson, you're going to see a white box with a red, you're going to see a red box with a white number in it.
Yes, ma'am.
You see that, click on that. And you should see a message from Miss Amanda Wright, R-Y-T-E. When you get that message, just click on that and put your email address. Make sure you check it twice. Put your email address in the box and hit send and send that back to Miss Wright. She's going to send you your sentencing sheet. Because you're not at the courthouse, I give a minimum of 30 days for you to pay the fines and fees. But did you need 60 days, sir?
No, ma'am. 30 days. Fine.
Okay. And you can pay by coming into the building on the second floor at Terra Boulevard, 9151 Terra Boulevard, second floor, or you can pay online or by phone. Those instructions should be in the email that you receive, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question. Would this go on my record on my CDF?
See, I can't tell people. So when I do arraignments, I always tell you, like, before you come to trial, do your research and figure out what'll happen with your CDL, because I can't tell you. And that's part of my speech that I give everybody. When you have a CDL, it's important that you figure that out before you come to court, because none of us do CDL law. We essentially know the basic stuff for vehicles, but CDL involves state and federal regulations.
It happened before I got my CDLs. So
I still can't.
Okay.
Usually, I'm saying usually the whatever penalties would be based on the date of conviction.
Mhm.
So not the date of arrest. The date of conviction would be today, as opposed to the date of arrest, whenever that was. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you might want to, like, whoever you drive for, you might want to talk to them about it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Did you get that chat from Ms. Wright?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So once you get that information, please make sure you pay it on or before the 30th day, or an arrest warrant could issue for failure to complete a suspended sentence. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So next is Parker. You ready on Parker?
Yes. Oh, that's great.
Your Honor, the state is ready. Officer Vanderpool, are you there, sir?
Yes.
Officer
Yes, I'm here.
All right, can you turn your camera on for me, please?
All right. So, Mr. Parker, you're before the court for 2023 TK 21174, speeding 16 to 20 miles per hour in a school zone. This is for James A. Parker. The state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to give any evidence or testimony in this case. If you choose to give evidence or testimony, then at the appropriate time, I'll go over with your rights with you and swear you in. The state is going to present their witnesses. Any witnesses that they present, you can ask questions of that witness. Just don't make any statements or tell me how it was from your perspective until we make a determination about whether you're going to testify, okay?
Recording in progress.
All right. Vanderpool,
Yes.
I need you to do the one or the other. I can't have two devices because it's gonna give me feedback.
Should be okay.
Okay, so if you can't get video on the other device, then what you need to do is to mute your video, and then I'll hear you through your phone or vice versa. But right now I have you on two devices.
That better? Yeah.
That's better.
Okay, there we go.
All
Okay,
right, Your Honor, may I proceed?
yes.
Thank you. Officer, may you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can lower your hand. May you please state your first and last name, spelling your first and last name for the court and the court reporter.
Richard Vanderpool. Vanderpool, Vanderpool.
Okay, and how are you currently employed?
With the Clayton County Police.
And being employed with the Clayton County Police Department, does it require you to be post-certified?
Yes, ma'am.
And on this date, December the 15th, 2023, was you in fact post-certified?
Yes, ma'am.
And being post-certified, does it give you the authority to issue traffic citations?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to bring your attention to that incident date, December the 15th, 2023. Did you conduct a traffic stop on Fayetteville Road and Yellow River Road?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that located here in Clayton County, Georgia?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you have an opportunity to make contact with a James Parker on that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And why did you make contact with James Parker?
I was posted up in the school zone area at the time, and he came through the school zone, going at a higher rate of speed than the school zone will allow at 25 miles an hour.
Okay, and what was the school zone sign?
Where was the school zone sign?
What was the speed limit? Excuse me, I'm sorry. What was the
25 miles an hour.
25, and what was Mr. Parker's detected speed?
He was going at 44 miles an hour.
Okay, and what time was this incident?
This is around 8 o'clock.
Okay. And
Yeah.
did you use a speed detection device?
Yes.
Okay, what did you use?
My car is equipped with radar, and I have a LiDAR device. I confirmed it with the LiDAR device, and also I'm trained to also detect speed also with my vision.
Okay. And was your LiDAR device, was it calibrated
Yes, ma'am.
and was it checked?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you have any issues with your LiDAR device that morning or prior to clocking the defendant's speed?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And as far as the speed limit, you indicated that it was 8 o'clock in the morning in a school zone. Was there any posted signage that indicates that it was a school zone?
Yes, yeah. You have to pass through a yellow flashing lights on West Fayetteville Road, and then there's a sign that posts the times. I guess Monday through Friday and the times.
Okay. And were the lights flashing?
Yes, ma'am. I checked it before posting them.
Okay. And was the signs posted as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there anything obstructing the sign?
No, ma'am.
And was there anything obstructing the actual visual of the lights? I'm sorry.
No, ma'am.
No further questions from this witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Parker, did you have questions for this officer?
No, ma'am.
All right. So Ms. Ponder, may this officer be excused. Did you have anything else for this officer?
No further questions from Officer Vanderpool. Thank you, sir.
No
All right. Does the state have additional witnesses or
The
evidence?
state does not have additional witness, Your Honor, and the state rests at this time.
All right. So Mr. Parker, the state has rested. You're not required to present any evidence or testimony on your behalf. The state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Sir, did you wish to offer evidence or testimony in this case?
Yes.
All right. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, I do.
All right. You can put your hand down. You understand that you do not have to give any evidence or testimony?
Yes, I do.
nobody can force you to give up your right to remain silent? Sir,
Yes,
do
I
you know
do.
that? Okay, and so at this time you wish to give evidence in this case?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead and tell me what's going on.
Well, I drive that way every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and it wasn't 8 o'clock in the morning. And at a particular time, the school zone lights were in operation, but they don't work. So I was like, I don't speed through there. I was driving normal speed rate, but it was at a downhill trajectory. So basically, I was coasting. I thought I had passed the school. And so I was double checking. I walked there for next time. Man, the lights not working up here. That coming from my direction that I was traveling, the school zone lights were not operational. To warn, even if I were having to be just paying attention to what I was doing, but I always pay attention to what I'm doing. I've been driving for 45 years. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, born and raised. And I never ever got a speeding ticket through a school zone because I'm very aware of the children of the future. And so I pay attention to what I'm doing. I thought I had to cross my T's. And that day, those school zone lights were not operational. And I just, I did a reconnaissance for the rest of the week, trying to see what's going on. The lights were not operational. He was positioned right by the gas station, right at the end of the school zone. And that's my story.
Okay, so you said that the school zone was not working. The school zone flashing lights were not working.
They were not operational.
Okay, and because of that, you felt like the speed was different.
Well, I didn't say that. I was just driving the speed limit. Then I was going to downhill trajectory. Because once I passed the school, I was just coasting. So I don't know speed through the area. I know it's the area where it's heavily patrolled by policemen.
Okay, Ms. Ponder, did you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so one more question. So Mr. Parker, so let's assume that it's summertime and the lights aren't working. What's the speed limit in that zone when it's summertime and the lights aren't working? Because you said you go through there 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So what?
Right there, I know I'm driving by 35 because my turn is coming up and the next traffic, I need to make a left turn the next traffic light. So I don't speed. And pretty much a lot of traffic come through the way, so I try to be cautious of it. And here, and make a left turn on that river road in that street at the traffic light. So
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. So you said there was no flashing lights working. Okay, tell me again.
There was no flashing school zone lights working that day.
Okay.
Speed limit.
On that day, no flashing school zone. If the lights are flashing, the speed limit is 25. If the lights are not flashing, what's the speed limit?
35, because it changes actually when you get on that beginning of the street. Then it drops a little bit. So I would say 35 miles per hour.
Okay. So the officer testified that you were going 44. So even if the school zone was not in effect, you still would have been speeding. Is that correct?
Yeah, but the speed limit may be 45. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't been that way in about 9 months. So I used to drive that way every day.
All right.
So give me a friend of mine a ride to work and everything. But I haven't been that way.
I get that, Mr. Parker. The only thing is I'm a mama, so I do that 5 days a week, and I've done it so far. Least
actually, now the speed limit
school zones is school, but I'm clear on what the speed limit is. If the lights are flashing, speed limit is 25. If the lights aren't flashing, it's still 35. So if you're going 44,
it's 45 miles per hour to be exactly correct. Speed limit on that street right there, on that up Riverdale Road, is 45 miles per hour. It's not 35.
In front of the school.
And Your Honor, if it's possible, if I can ask the officer if the officer is aware. I'm not sure if they have that information.
I need to hear some rebuttal on this. Officer Vanderpool.
I'm here.
All right, Officer Vanderpool. So Mr. Parker states that the lights were not working at that time. Do you know what the speed limit is when the lights are not working to indicate the school zone?
The speed limit on that street is 40 miles an hour.
Okay. So, and you said on that day, December 15th, the lights were working.
Yes, I check it before I set up to do school zones.
Do you check in both directions?
Both directions. I check in all directions of every light in the area. So it's not just north and south. They have them east and west also, and I check those also.
All right. Anything else at this time, Mr. Parker?
No.
All right. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Any argument?
Your Honor, the state would just ask this court to find Mr. Parker guilty for speeding. Officer Vanderpool has testified multiple times that he did check to see whether or not the lights were flashing. I did ask if there was anything to prevent anyone view. He indicated no. Your Honor, there's no reason this officer would have any type of for his statement to be untruthful. Your Honor, in addition, as the defendant has testified, he indicated that there is a hill in which he said that typically when you're going down a hill, the speed does pick up. Your Honor, I would submit to this court that this was around 8 a.m. as the officer testified during school hours, and the lights were flashing. For that, Your Honor, the state would ask this court to find the defendant guilty.
All right. So several things, Mr. Parker. The timing indicated, you said you were taking somebody to work. Generally, that's a morning time that comports with what the officer testified to. And the officer has testified that it is part of his routine to go and check the lights to make sure everything is operational before he can set up a speed zone in that area. At this time, the court is going to find you guilty of the offense of speeding in a school zone. Was there a recommendation for the amount?
Yeah, the state's recommendations are $200 fine.
All right. It is a school zone, but Mr. Parker, I'm gonna go ahead and give you $100 fine. Please be mindful of the fact that children bounce out into the street at all times. So we have to be very, very careful in the school zone. The fine is going to be $100, $151.50 with the surcharges. And sir, did you wish to pay that today or have additional time?
Well, I can have additional time.
Sure. I'm going to give you 30 days in which to pay. You're going to go down to the second floor. Please don't skip this step. You're going to go down to the second floor to the traffic court window to get your paperwork. They'll tell you the exact date it needs to be paid. And if you ask them, they'll also explain about how to pay online or by phone. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm not mistaken, that is all of the cases on the 11 o'clock calendar. Have I missed anything?
No, Your Honor. I just have a question regarding Lattimore. What happened in that case?
Oh, Lattimore.
And that was on the 10 o'clock calendar, Your Honor.
Ms. Lattimore was guilty, but she paid. So she came, she paid on the website, but she came because she was trying to figure out how to reduce points on her license.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Yes.
You get my message?
I did not. One second.
Your Honor?
Yes.
This is Wayne Saffer. I'm on, I was actually called in for Bailey Demone.
All right. So Mr. Saffer, good point, because my understanding is Mr. Demone has just appeared.
So I didn't understand what was going on. I heard the 3-letter or whatever they said, and I did not know what that meant. So I've been waiting. Okay.
So Mr. Demone Bailey, when the FTA means failure to appear, because Mr. Bailey wasn't here when I called the calendar. My understanding is Mr. Bailey says that he was lost and he was wandering around the courthouse. Mr. Bailey, you are charged with two cases, improper lane change and a window tint violation, but I've already released the officers because you were not here. Did Ms. Ponder, did you all release your officers?
That is correct, Your Honor. We actually requested for our witnesses to be excused. It just happened that the victim was still stayed on the call. So the court, I would allow if Mr. Tipton wants to move forward with just the victim or if Mr. Tipton needs the officer, but I'll defer to Mr. Tipton since this is his case.
Mr. Tipton?
Your Honor, I think I'll need the officer, but let me just take a quick look and see one thing about this case.
We do have a victim as well. I'm sorry, another witness in the courtroom related to this case.
Oh, there's another witness in the courtroom and then there's a witness online.
Maria Mendoza?
Yes. So, Mr. Tipton, it's up to you. I can reset. Unfortunately, these witnesses came, but Mr. Damone did not. I mean, Mr. Bailey did not. Mr. Bailey, why were you late, sir?
I was lost. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I had went to the courthouse down the street, and then I went to Mr. Mason's or the judge next door. I went to his courthouse, so I was lost.
Your Honor,
right.
because our victim showed up, and so we don't have to reschedule for our victim, the state's going to move forward with this case.
All right, Mr. Bailey, you ready for trial?
I am.
Okay. All right. So what is going to happen is the state is going to present their witnesses, and you do not have to give any testimony or evidence. The state has the burden of proving the case against you on each of these offenses beyond a reasonable doubt. You will have the opportunity to question any witnesses that they bring to testify, but ask questions only. Don't make any statements. Don't tell me what happened from your perspective until we go over your rights and then determine whether you're going to give testimony in this case. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right.
And Your Honor, before we get started, I just want to ask Miss Maria Mendoza, because I don't see her in the police report. Were you riding in one of the vehicles, ma'am?
Yes.
Which vehicle were you riding in?
Bailey's.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. I just need to know that about whether I needed to ask you questions or whether he was going to ask you questions. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. So I'm ready whenever you are, Mr. Tipton.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, state's going to call Mr. Wayne Saffer.
All right, Mr. Saffer, can you turn your video on for me? And thank you for your patience.
Okay. There.
All right.
Can you see me now?
I see you. I see you and I hear you. All right. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can put your hand down. Mr. Tipton?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Saffer, if you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Wayne Roy Saffer.
Okay, thank you, sir. And that's Saffer spelled S-A-F-F-E-R, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Saffer, what do you do for work, sir?
I am a over-the-road truck driver, CDL.
I see. And did you have occasion on November 19th of 2023 to drive on I-75, on I-285 near I-75?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were you involved in an automobile collision at that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you tell me what happened during the automobile collision?
Well, as you come up on that curve going to the airport exit, there's a 2-lane merges into 1, 3 lanes merge into 2. At that point, if you go back about 1.5 miles on the approach, it says left lane ends, merge right. There are 3 signs on that road prior to getting to the merge point. at the first sign, I started looking over to the right. As soon as I found a clearing to be able to move over, I moved over. I was over into the right-hand lane prior to the second sign. The third sign is, I walked it off, so I'm not going to say specifically, but from where the contact occurred, it's right at 200 yards prior to getting to the merge point. And the contact actually occurred, which would be signified by the photographs that were turned into the district attorney and everything, and to the to office of the chief investigator, Tommy Henderson, I believe. Is that correct, sir?
That was our chief investigator. Yeah.
Yes, but there were three different officers there. Two of them that questioned both myself and the other individual here. But when I merged over into the lane, there was nobody there. I, at that point, am no longer looking in my right side mirror, because that lane should, that's a not a merge point. I'm completely in the lane for almost a quarter mile. So I'm not looking to my right. I'm looking towards the traffic that's merging from the left where I come in. The traffic was only going 10, 15 miles an hour at that point in time. It never, from the time you saw the first merge to the right, because the left lane was ending, from that sign on, the traffic was never more than 20 miles an hour. And all of a sudden, I just felt him. I felt the vehicle. I honestly couldn't tell who was in the vehicle, who was driving, or anything, because the tint on the windows was so dark. I did not know. I actually asked the defendant whether he was driving or the girl was driving, the other witness, because I had no idea who was driving, because I couldn't even see. But I literally, they as you can tell by the pictures as well that I sent into the investigator, he stopped literally 15 feet in front of where he slammed on the brakes, 15 feet in front of where the contact occurred. And he would not move to allow me to get, I've got two lanes of traffic that are merging to the airport, and he would not move out of my way. So I drove around him to the right-hand side. From that point on, he and I had we didn't have any physical altercation, but we had a verbal altercation, because I literally told him he needs to move, because I cannot pull my truck out of the road with him sitting there. So finally, I literally went around him in the ditch in order to get out of the road, to not hold up traffic for the 2 hours that we sat there, that he preferred to not allow me to even get out of the road. So again, I did not see the vehicle until I saw it bounce. I was in a long nose, old school truck, so I had I didn't have any eyebrow mirrors or anything. All I had was my side mirrors. So he was in a blind spot when he made contact with me. The video I sent in, as well as the photographs, show that the contact was made in the lane, in my lane that I was fully in at the time, and the officer asked him multiple times, which was in the report as well. She asked him 3 different times, and I can't tell you the exact words, but the words were essentially, so you passed him on the shoulder. And his answer was, yeah, he would not let me in. It's not his job to let you in. Well, he wouldn't let me over. You can't pass on the shoulder, but he wouldn't let me get in, was what he had stated multiple times, and that was in the police report as well. I do not have a copy of the police report with me at this time, but that most of that should all be found in the report. Again, this has been over a year ago, so I may, I'm not going to tell you, Your Honor, or Mr. Tipton, that my recollection is flawless. I'm not a young man anymore, but again, I'm not looking to, all I'm looking for is that, people be held to the same accountability that I am as a CDL holder.
All right.
That's all,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Clayton?
Yes, Your Honor. So, Mr. Saffer, I want to go back a little bit. You mentioned the collision, and I really want to harp on the collision. Okay. So, the point of impact, where was that on your vehicle?
It was on my front right-hand bumper on a 2007 Freightliner.
Okay. And where was the damage on the defendant's vehicle?
His driver's side rear quarter panel, right next to the rear bumper on the driver's side. Again, I turned in the photographs that the investigator requested. I literally took all the photographs there on site, as well as crash site. You know, from distances, I was taught to take 3+ photographs when doing any type of accident as a professional driver.
I see. I'm sorry, can you give me one moment, please?
Mr. Tipton?
My apologies, Your Honor. We had a bit of technical difficulties on this thing. Okay. Mr. Safer, when you spoke with the defendant, Mr. Bailey, did he state that he was driving?
He said he didn't have to tell me anything.
I got you. Did you see which side of the vehicle he came out of?
It appeared to me at the time that he got out of the driver's side.
Let's see. Okay. Okay.
Again, it's been so long, I do not recall. I remember saying, "So were you driving?" And he said he don't have to answer questions to me.
And how long were you in your lane?
I was in my lane for at least a minimum of a quarter mile, almost a quarter mile.
And about how long time-wise would you say that was? I know you've mentioned that you were moving at a snail's pace.
Yeah, 15 to 20 seconds, give or take, maybe a little longer, but it wouldn't have been more than a minute. But it was definitely more than 20 seconds that I was in that lane.
And does your vehicle, does it have warning stickers on the back warning of blind spots to your vehicle?
That at the time, no. I had a trailer that again, I didn't have the blind spot until, there was nobody in that blind spot at the time. I can see next to me behind. I can't see. The only place I can't see in that truck was literally from the mirror forward. I've got the window at the bottom that I can see if there's anybody right next to me there. But if they're from that window forward to the front of the truck is the area that I couldn't see.
I'll see.
And
Okay.
again, there was nobody there when I merged over. Nobody honked. I had my windows at the time. I still smoked, so I had my windows down, or at least I had my driver's side window down. If somebody had honked, I would have heard somebody honking or whatever. I would have been notified. I would have assumed anyway. Sir.
I understand. And so, is it your testimony today that Mr. Bailey merged in through your blind spot?
Yes, sir, because he was at the front of the truck and came over and made contact with my truck that was fully in the lane. Yes, sir.
Okay, then. And okay, then.
There's an Officer G. Smith who's on. Is that officer for this case or
Yes,
another?
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. We attempted to get that officer back on. She has gotten back on.
Oh,
okay. Okay. So at this time, sir, I have no further questions for you. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bailey, did you have any questions for Mr. Safer?
So whenever you said you didn't see who the driver was, whenever I was already basically merged into your lane, you don't remember me having my window down and asking you like, what are you doing? And us kind of having a conflict in the car?
Are you talking about prior to the collision or after the collision?
Prior to the collision.
Prior to the collision, no, I did not see you until after the collision. I did not even see the car until after the collision.
Okay. And then you said you were moving before you had merged. You said you moved into the right or the left lane?
I moved from the left lane into the right lane because the left lane was closing down. The merge sign said all traffic merge left. 3 different signs said all traffic merge left.
Okay. And you said you didn't see anyone coming from behind you?
I did not see anybody in my on my right-hand side when I merged. I had my turn signal on for almost 30 seconds at least before I even moved over because I had to allow the other traffic to get on by because it's my responsibility to merge into that merge zone.
So since you weren't able to see in front of you in that corner part that you were talking about, you had a blind spot in. If the traffic in front of you was moving too slow, do you think it could be a potential?
Objection, Your Honor. This is going to call for speculation.
He didn't finish asking the question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Do you think it would cause you to be able to hit somebody without seeing them being there with a lot of traffic coming in front of you?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
I mean, I didn't even get to ask my full question, but I was interrupted. Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, sustained. All right. Anything else, Mr. Bailey?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right. Anything else from Mr. Saffron?
No, Your Honor.
Excused?
I do believe he's got a request for restitution. I'd ask that he be heard if the court finds for the state in this case.
Okay. 1 second. All right. So, Mr. Tipton, who's your next witness?
It's going to be Officer G. Smith.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Officer Smith. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Please lower your hand. Okay, Officer Smith, please state your name for the record.
Officer G. Smith.
Okay. And Officer Smith, where do you currently work?
Clayton County Police Department.
How long have you been with Clayton County PD?
3 years.
I'm sorry, how many years?
3 years.
Thank you. Okay. What's your position with Clayton County PD?
Police officer.
As a police officer, are you post certified?
Yes, sir.
Being post-certified, are you authorized to investigate crimes, issue citations, and make arrests?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were you working on November 19th of 2023?
Correct.
Okay. And generally speaking, what were your duties that day?
Regular officer duties, general patrol, answering calls, working vehicle accidents, working any calls that you're dispatched to.
Okay then. So on this date, were you uniformed?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question?
On this day, were you uniformed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were you in a police vehicle?
Say that one more time.
Were you in a police vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you have occasion on this date to go to I-75, the intersection of I-75 and I-285?
Yes.
Okay. What brought you to that location?
I was dispatched to that location in reference to a vehicle accident.
Okay. When you arrived, what did you see?
When I arrived, what did I see?
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that the vehicles, it was a tractor, if I'm not mistaken, it was a commercial vehicle, and a white truck, if I'm not mistaken, had got into a vehicle accident, and I made contact with both of the drivers at that point.
Okay. Do you see both of the drivers on the Zoom call today?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you see? So you have two cars listed here: vehicle 1 and vehicle 2. Is that correct?
I'm having a really hard time like hearing you.
I got you. Okay. Let me just get as close as I can to this thing. Okay. So you mentioned that you saw two vehicles. One was a white truck and one was a commercial vehicle. Did you make contact with the driver of the white truck?
I did.
Okay. Do you see the driver of the white truck here today?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe him for me?
He's standing, looks like inside of the courtroom with a black shirt on.
Okay. And you made contact with the driver of the commercial vehicle too. Is that correct? Okay. Can you describe what he's wearing for me?
A green shirt, with the glasses and like a headset.
Okay. Thank you. When you arrived, what did you observe about the damages to the vehicle?
There were minor damages to both of the vehicles. It looked like the vehicle 1 had damages to the left side, like the far front of the left side, and then the commercial vehicle had damages to the right side, far front of the right side. So not directly in the front end of the vehicle, but on the side of the vehicle.
Okay, I see. So, based on your investigation, did you determine that one driver was at fault for the incident?
Yes.
Who was the at fault driver?
Driver 1, which was Mr. Damon, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, and that was the driver. And that was the driver of which vehicle? I know you said vehicle. Okay, which was the truck, correct? Not the Freightliner, but the pack.
Correct.
Yeah, just the pickup. Okay. And who did you issue a citation to?
Mr. DeMott.
Okay. Did you issue any citations to the driver of the commercial vehicle?
No.
Okay. Why did you not issue any citations to the driver of the commercial vehicle?
At the time of me working the vehicle accident, it was determined that Mr. DeMont Bailey was the at-fault driver based off of my investigation at that time.
Okay. Did you notice anything else about the vehicle while you were there?
I can't recall. It was like over 1.5 years ago.
Okay. Did you test the tint of the vehicle? The vehicle's windshield?
Repeat that one more time.
Did you test the tint of the vehicle's windshield?
Yes.
Or windows? Okay. What did you determine about the tint of the windows and windshield?
That the vehicle had dark tints around on all four, I think it was all four of the windows of the vehicle.
Okay. Were you able to determine whether or not the vehicle had reduced light transmission to less than 32% transmission of light?
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
Were you able to determine whether the tinting had reduced light transmission to less than 32% of light from the outside? Okay, thank you. Based on your knowledge, training, and experience, going back to the vehicle collision, let's see. Was the movement made by the driver of vehicle 1 made safely?
No, sir.
Okay. And what did you cite the defendant for?
I believe it was improper lane change, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Did you talk to the defendant directly?
Did I talk to the defendant directly?
Yes, ma'am.
I did.
What did he tell you happened?
He basically explained that when they were traveling along the highway, that the lanes were merging into one lane. It was a 2-lane merging into one lane, and he didn't have enough space to get it over into from his lane into that one lane that the commercial vehicle was traveling in. So he attempted to go around, kind of like go around to like speed up and try to get in front of him, if I'm not mistaken. However, he didn't have enough time and space. So that's when the vehicles collided.
Okay. And did you talk with the driver of vehicle 2 about what occurred?
Yes.
And what did he tell you happened?
Vehicle 2 expressed the same thing, that the 2 lanes were merging into one lane, and that the vehicle 1 did not have enough time to move over. So he immediately tried to pass the vehicle. However, when he tried to pass the vehicle, that's when the vehicles collided.
I see. And when you said when he attempted to pass the vehicle, you mean driver 1 attempted to pass the vehicle? Okay. Did all this occur in Clayton County? Thank you. I have no further questions at this time.
All right, Mr. Bailey, do you have any questions of Officer Smith?
So whenever you were saying that I tried to go around that, and that never happened. I was already in the lane. I told you that.
Ask her a question.
I was getting to it.
Okay, you're making statements, then that's what we're trying to avoid until we determine whether you're going to testify, okay?
Okay, so you're saying, are you saying that I wasn't already in the lane and I tried to speed up and get around him? Or what were you saying?
So basically what I'm expressing is when the 2 lanes were going into one lane, you didn't make a judgment call. You made a judgment call a little late, and when you made the judgment call late, you tried to speed up and get in front of that vehicle. However, you didn't have enough time. That's when the vehicles collided.
Okay. And then whenever you were making your judgment on how the accident happened, you said you based it off of what?
At the time of the accident, based off of my investigation at that time when I was out on the scene.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, how did you base it? How did you conclude your?
Based off of both testimonies from you and driver 2.
So you didn't tell me that you based it off of the debris being in the road?
Yes, so that plays a factor as well as to where the vehicles collided. Where the debris lays in the road is where basically the vehicles had the collision in. So it's just the determination.
And how long do you think it took you to get to the scene?
I'm not sure how long it took me to get there. Again, it was 1.5 years ago.
Okay. No further questions.
All right. Any other witnesses for the state?
I just have one follow-up question from Officer Smith.
Yes, sir.
Officer Smith, did Mr. Bailey identify himself as the driver of vehicle 1?
He did. He also had a passenger in the vehicle with him as well, but he did identify himself as the driver.
All right. Thank you. I have no further questions. State rests at this time if Mr. Bailey has no further questions.
All right, so Mr. Bailey, the state has rested their case. You do not have to present any evidence or testimony, the state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. However, if you do wish to present evidence or testimony in the form of you making a statement or your witness making a statement, then now is that time. Did you wish to present evidence or testimony, sir?
Can I ask one more question before?
Of whom?
Mr. Stafford.
Sure. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Mr. Stafford, can you unmute for me? I think he's having some kind of difficulty. He's pointing to his ear.
There, I just now got the request. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
Mr. Bailey.
My question, would you recall being like angry or like mad at the time during that day? Prior to the crash?
Not prior to it.
Would you, right before the crash, like seconds before the crash, do you think you were a little bit mad or agitated?
I was never mad or agitated until after the collision, if you were the driver not pulling up to allow me to get out of traffic's way so that we could handle it like grown-ups in the room.
Okay, and then do you think I would have done anything to you or said anything to you to tell you that you wanted to pull a gun on me?
Seeing as how I'm a CDL driver and it's illegal for me to have a gun in my property, which I have never had at any point in time, which I have never seen, you've never seen because I don't own a gun.
I never saw it, but did you say that to me?
Huh? No, what I said, Your Honor, may I, do I have permission to speak freely, Your Honor?
Sure.
Young man, you told me that you attacked me verbally, and my quote unquote words were fuck around and find out because you found the right one today. That's what I told you. Okay. And you told me to carry my old ass back to my house and get the fuck back into my truck is what you told me, correct? Tell me I'm wrong.
I said that part, but can I
okay. Thank you.
Hold on. Was this before or after the collision?
This was after.
That was after the collision, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So I'm really pressed about it. I'm more pressed about how the collision happened. Okay. If this happened after the collision, trust me, I had somebody back up over my car, and that was like the second accident. I'd been hit earlier that week. Oh, I let loose a string of expletives.
No, I'm saying
so it happened after the accident.
I'm saying this led up to it because of him being mad of me getting over in front of him. And that was the reason why the accident was caused, because he was following too close and then ended up hitting me. It was no me trying to speed up or anything. I was already in front of the driver.
Since you're going to testify, Mr. Bailey, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
I do.
All right. You can put your hand down. You understand that you do not have to give any evidence or testimony?
I do.
And you're waiving your right to give testimony in order to offer evidence and testimony in this case. I mean, you're waiving your right to remain silent.
Yes, I do.
All right. So tell me what happened.
Say again, you cut out.
Tell me what happened.
Oh, so when I was before he hit me, excuse me. So before he hit me, I was getting over. And he saw me getting over. He was just yelling at me, telling me that I can't get over and stuff like that. And there was a truck in front of me. So I was trying to avoid hitting the truck in front of me. So that's the reason why I had to end up getting back out of my lane to get.
Okay, Mr. Bailey, let's start from the beginning. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from, so originally we were both in the left lane that ends up merging. So
okay,
I saw the first time.
Let's go back. Were you on 75 turning on to 285?
Yes, but I was on the part that where the lanes are, there's two lanes before it merges into the one lane that turns.
Okay, so the pigtail where it turns, where it comes around.
I was like before that. So there's the two lanes, and then once you get to it, it turns into the one.
Yeah.
You were way back here before anything. So this is where the start of it is. We were both in the left lane. I get over into the right lane.
So the pigtail, going around the curve to get on the ramp, you were going 75 north. Is that correct?
No, I was going south.
75 south, okay. And so you were getting on the pigtail to go to 285.
Right, and I was going around, and at the time, I was already basically here, and I was getting over because his lane ended up having to merge into my lane essentially because I had already got over and gotten around him. So once I had gotten over and gotten around him, my window was down. He was saying he didn't see me. He saw me. We had a conflict. I was telling him I'm getting over. I don't know why you keep merging over, but I was getting over, and before.
Okay, but let me ask you this, Mr. Bailey, from a practical standpoint, why would you like if a truck is coming and you're saying I'm getting over, he's getting over, and y'all are having this conversation, the truck is bigger. I'm gonna yield to the truck just from I don't want a truck to hit me.
I mean, he for sure didn't have to hit me. He could have stopped. We weren't going.
Okay.
Not stop, but he could have slowed down. He's saying,
Mr. Saffer? Mr. Saffer,
Yes, ma'am.
how big is your truck?
At the time, I was only about 67,000 pounds.
Okay, so how long does it take you to stop? So from let's
It,
say,
take, it takes me anywhere from 3 to 10 times as long as it takes a four-wheel vehicle to stop.
From 10 miles an hour?
So, because one of my friends who's a judge, she says this thing that makes me laugh, but it's true. She says people expect a truck to stop on a dime, but they need a whole $5 to stop. So now let's go back to your testimony with that in mind, Mr. Bailey, and tell me what happened on that day.
So I was already in front of his truck 75% of the way. When we were merging, I was already in my merge. So me being in my merge, I don't know why he would continue to keep going. He could have prevented it. It was following too close, and he hit me because I didn't have enough space because there was the truck in front of me. So I had to go off into the side of the road. That's where he was showing you that picture. That's why I was off into the side of the road a little bit, and that's when he hit me and slid the back end of my truck and bust out my tail light, and that's when he hit my quarter panel as well.
Okay. Did you take physics, Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
So 67,000 pounds, and you're saying he should have slowed down to let you over because he saw you.
Not that he should have slowed down. He was required to slow down. We were going 15 miles an hour. Why would he not slow down?
Okay. So you're coming around the curve, you're merging. You said you were fully in the lane. He says he was fully in the lane and he was coming straight.
He was in the left lane, getting over
around the same curve that you were in.
No, I went around him. I had told you I went around him and I was in the right lane. The right lane is the lane that turns. The left lane is the lane that has to merge into the right lane to be able to turn.
So he was in the left lane, coming around that same curve that you were coming around.
Trying to, yes. And then he had to get into the right lane eventually.
Okay, so both of y'all are exiting 75 South.
Mm-hmm.
And you're coming up the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I gotta hear yes or no.
Sorry. Yes, yes.
Okay, and so as you're coming around, because I'm more familiar with the exchange from 75 north to coming around, but I'm thinking as we're thinking about 75 south, and so you're coming around, and you said that both of y'all were coming around the ramp. At the point that you entered the pigtail, the part that turns around, what lane were you in?
The right lane. Do we have a visualization of it? Like, can we pull up a picture?
Well, I mean, it's your trial. Did you bring a visualization of it?
Yes, I do.
I mean, I don't have a visualization of it.
All right. But no, I did not bring one.
All right. So you're coming around and you said you were in the right lane.
Right. Well, we were initially, are we going off the start?
Well, I'm asking you, you keep bringing me to the point where y'all merge, and I said, tell me where you're starting from.
Okay, where we started from, we were both in the left lane.
Okay.
Behind him in the left lane, and then
you were behind him in the left lane.
Right, and then I had to the right lane. I got over into the right lane, passed him completely. That's when the merge started.
Okay, so you were already in front of him.
Yes. Well, I was in his blind spot. I was in that blind spot he was talking about. So in front of him, yes, but I was in a blind spot, like he was saying.
So you weren't all the way in front of his nose of his truck. You were in the blind spot, but some part of your vehicle was adjacent to some part of his truck.
Yes.
Okay. The way you said it, it sounds like I was already in front of him. And there was no part of our vehicles that were on the same plane together.
No. So it was basically like this, and then we were going into the merge like that. And he was following too close. That's when I was talking to him out the window, following me too close. He could have prevented the car crash, but he just decided to hit me and he almost tried to flip me.
Okay, Mr.
My car slid.
Your Honor, I think that the state has no further questions for this person. He's done our job for us.
Mr. Bailey, did you have any other witnesses or testimony you want to present?
No.
Okay. All right. Does the state have argument? I'm sorry?
Is he trying to say that I solved the point of him following too close that caused accident?
Anything at this point. I just asked if you had any other witnesses or testimony.
No, I was just asking that.
Okay. Mr. Tipton, did you have any argument?
They will reserve, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bailey, did you want to tell me why you think I should rule in your favor?
Because he caused the car accident of following too close, and it was completely, like, I feel like it shouldn't have even had a car accident. Isn't that a law? If you're following too close, you can get a ticket for that?
Yeah, Mr. Bailey, I agree that there should not have been an accident, but I need you to be a more careful driver, because what you're telling me is he was in the wrong because he saw you passing him and he should have slowed down to let you go in front of him.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's what you said. You said if he had slowed down, he should have slowed down, because then we could have avoided the accident. If I misheard that, Mr. Tipton, did I mishear that?
That's the part what I said then?
Did not mishear that, Your Honor.
That's the part where I asked Mr. Safer, how big is your truck? And he said, oh, I was only running 67,000 pounds at that point. But you said in order to avoid the collision, he should have slowed down.
That's anything though. If someone's at a red light, in order to avoid the collision.
So Mr. Bailey, what I want you to understand as a young driver is, even if he had the capacity to slow down, if you were in his blind spot, which you just said, he wouldn't have seen you in order to slow down. Number one. Number two, your premise is he wanted to flip your car and have an accident. Mr. Safer, as a truck driver, could lose his license for any infraction. And so him wanting to flip you and run you over, let me tell you, the majority of CDL holders would do anything to avoid an accident, because A, that's going to slow them down. They're on a timer. They got a run to make, and it's time. B, that's money. So if he loses money based on an accident, money for that run, that's money out of his pocket. C, it will affect his ability to earn a living for him and his family. And what you're telling me doesn't make sense, because you're saying that you were in his blind spot, but he saw you and should have slowed down. Mr. Bailey, if I tell you nothing else today, it is that you will always lose when you try and push a truck. You will always lose. If they don't see you, I get it. But there are so many areas where when you're driving a truck, there's so many areas where you might be in their blind spot. If he's looking to the left because he's trying to merge back over, the whole side is going to be his blind spot because he's not even looking there. But what you cannot do is figure you're going to beat the truck. In a car versus truck situation, the car should always yield. I can't tell you how many times I may have been in the right with respect to my placement, but I'm going to fall back or I'm going to slow down to allow the truck to go forward, because I'm not going to be the loser in the truck versus car collision.
I mean, I get that, being the loser in the situation and having to yield because the truck is bigger, but I'm more so focused on the law and what the law says.
But sir, I'm focused on the law. You said you were in his blind spot, and in order to avoid the collision, he should have slowed down. But you were in his blind spot. You saw him, he didn't see you. And under the doctrine of last clear chance, you had the last clear chance to avoid the accident. You said, I was in his blind spot. I was not fully in front of him. So if you saw the truck, but he didn't see you, who had the last clear chance to avoid the accident?
Your Honor, we both saw each other. That's what I was trying to explain. We had a conflict before him hitting me. That's what I was trying to explain to you. That's why I was asking Mr. Saffer as well. That's why I was saying, did you not see me? Did we not talk to each other with my window not down? That's what I was trying to explain to you. But you're saying his blind spot. I understand it was his blind spot, quote unquote.
You said that. I didn't say that. You said I asked you, were you fully in front of his car, his truck? And you said no. I said, okay, truck, just tell me, were you fully in front, like in the nose, like he had to chase you down? You said no. I was beside him, but I was in front of like
this. And if I can see someone right here, and I'm still in your blind spot, there's no way you can't see the front of my vehicle, even though you're in my blind spot.
Sir, have you ever driven a truck?
I mean, I looked directly at his face. I wouldn't have to have driven a truck.
Okay.
He looked directly in my eyes. I looked directly in his eyes. So I'm not understanding like what's going on.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tipton. Yeah. It's not making sense to me, Mr. Bailey. I mean, I look for what makes sense. I know those intersections. I know what it means to come around that pigtail. I know what it means to come around that pigtail with trucks. I do it all the time. I'm going to the airport tomorrow to pick somebody up. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. So what I'm telling you is the way you're explaining the situation does not make sense. Does not make sense.
What doesn't make sense, Your Honor?
The fact that you told me you were in his blind spot, but he should have slowed down to avoid the accident.
Okay, when I said blind spot, quote unquote blind spot, we looked directly at each other.
At one point, I'm sure you did. You're both coming around the pigtail.
Yeah, so if we
but Mr. Bailey, at no point should either of y'all should have been jostling for a lane.
Right. And if I was in front of him, why not just stop? Why not stop? You're already behind me.
67,000 pounds is why.
10 miles an hour?
Sir.
That's beginning of first.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to go take physics. 67,000 pounds at any speed is gonna take a long time to slow down or to come to a stop. What you can't do is push a truck. Like you're like, okay, the truck should have acted just like a car. That doesn't, sir, you will end up dead on the road if that's how you think about driving. Sometimes, even when the law is on your side, you need to fall back because you have the last clear chance to avoid a collision. When it says, well, I was in the right. Okay, well, how does that work when you're in a coffin? What I'm telling you is if you saw him and you knew that there was going to be a collision, you should have fallen back because you had the last clear chance to avoid it. You told me you were in his blind spot. What I'm saying to you is you would rather be right than be alive.
No, Your Honor. I also told you that there was a truck in front of me, so I didn't have any last resort. My last resort was to pull off into the emergency lane, which I told you I did, and then he hit the back of my car. So there was no last resort. The last resort was for him to stop, like we were doing.
We're not going to agree on this, Mr. Bailey. I'm going to find you guilty of the offense of improper lane change. The 10th violation I'm really not pressed about. So guilty of the improper lane change, not guilty of the 10th violation. The fine, Mr. Tipton, did you have a fine amount in mind?
Yes, Your Honor, and I would like to request that he go on probation for the Alive at 25 program. I think that it would do him a lot of good. So state would request 12 months probation, Alive at 25 program, and a $200 fine. He does have 2 prior speedings within the last 4 years, one being 55 and a 40, and one being 75 and a 55. excuse me, 74 to 55.
Mr. Bailey, how old are you, sir?
I just turned 21, the 24th.
Yeah, Mr. Bailey, I think I agree with that. So I'm going to find you guilty of the offense of improper lane change. I'll put you in probation for 12 months for you to take the Alive at 25 class and also pay a fine in the amount of $200. The $200 fine is going to be $298 with the surcharges, and you can pay that over the course of probation. Now, let me make sure you understand that.
And Your Honor. Oh, and Your Honor, Mr. Safer, I believe, did want to make a statement too.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Safer. Mr. Bailey? Yes, sir.
So
yes, ma'am.
What is the cost?
Hold on, Mr. Safer. Yes, Mr. Bailey.
What's the cause of the probation?
Oh, the probation is $50 a month, but I was getting to that. Hold on. So what I was going to tell you is once you have completed the Alive at 25 and paid the fines and fees, I will allow your probation to terminate, but you're on probation until you get those two things done. So Alive at 25 is through the Department of Driver Services, Mr. Tipton?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Is there a way I can just like pay it and not have
No, Mr. Bailey, no, you need a class.
But I'm trying to figure out like what was the purpose of it? Like why am I on probation now?
I've already explained it because you're on probation to take the class. But if you will let me finish.
Okay. Sorry. I'm just lost right now. I'm so confused on how I came here thinking I was gonna be not at fault, so on probation. My bad.
Well, first of all, Mr. Bailey, I'm not sure how you thought you were not gonna be at fault because everything I heard, I was clear on what happened. Number one. Number two, the Alive at 25 is a class for younger drivers to make them understand the rules of the road and the unwritten rules of the road. Like how sometimes you may have to pull back because you have the last clear chance to avoid the collision. Number one. Number two, the fine is a $200 fine. Once you have completed Alive at 25 and paid the fine in the amount of $200 plus $98 in surcharges, then your probation can terminate. But you must go to your probation reports until such time as you have completed both of those special conditions of probation.
I got a quick question.
Yes.
What if I live in South Carolina for work and I have no way to like I work 6 days a week for 4 months and I live in South Carolina right now. So how am I supposed to what do I do with that?
You're gonna have to figure it out. You're gonna have to take the class. I mean,
online thing or like what is it?
What's what?
Is it like something I can do online?
I don't think so. Mr. Tipton, is it online?
I don't believe so, Your Honor, but probation would have more information about that. I think Alive at 25 has to be in person.
Yeah. So you just make an appointment, come up here, take the class, and go on back to work.
So is it like a day thing or like?
Mr. Bailey, I don't know. I'm not 25. I used to be, but I'm not. So I don't know anything about the Alive at 25 program. I'm telling you, other than it's good for underage drivers to get a refresher course when they've had several citations. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. The solicitor's office has vetted the program. I've heard from other solicitor's offices in other counties, but I'm not 25. And I haven't had a citation in more years than you've probably been alive. So let's just focus on the fact that you're going to take the class. You're going to go to probation until you've taken the class and paid the fines and fees. And then once you've done that, your probation will terminate. I don't know about the class. Once you get to the Department of Driver Services and start asking about the class, they'll tell you everything you need to know. Mr. Tipton, he signs up through probation. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to leave those double doors. You're going to go out into the hallway and turn to your right. When you get to the courtroom next door, courtroom 305, you're going to come back into that courtroom to the first set of double doors, and you'll see Miss James in one of the offices. Miss James is the probation expert. She's going to explain everything that you need to do to successfully complete probation. So that is taking the class, that is reporting for probation, that is paying the fines and fees. Once you've done all of those things, then your probation can terminate, but not until that time, okay?
Okay.
All right, so when you leave the courtroom, you're gonna go into the courtroom next door to see Ms. James.
And Your Honor, just for the courts, just to remind the court, Mr. Safer wishes to be heard as well.
All right, Mr. Safer. Oh, that's right. Mr. Safer has a restitution issue. Go ahead, Mr. Safer. You know what,
It's
Mr.
Safer.
Tipton?
You had it right at the beginning. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
No, my only concern here is literally I was late on that load that I was on because of the situation, which at that point is irrelevant. Today, I've literally I was going to tell Miss Chandra believe it is the one that was the one that contacted me through, or that I may have even spoke with her on the phone previously, but just all I would like to be. I've literally been sitting here now for 4.5 hours for this court hearing that's literally going to make it to where this load cannot be delivered until tomorrow that I'm on currently. I'm on a different company. I'm on probation with this company, and this is literally going to cost me out of my pocket just for being here for this court hearing. I mean, I'm not trying to be unfair. I'm not trying to be more of a burden on Mr. Damon, or is it Mr. Bailey? But the other young man, I'm not trying to get handled fairly, as I've literally been having to take time out and been on phone calls, multiple. I've been on over 20 phone calls between different attorneys, his attorneys, my trucking company's attorneys. I mean, I've literally got a lot of time that's been wrapped up over this court hearing, ma'am. And that's all I wanted to add to the conversation, is that, this has literally taken me a lot of my time in life, and worrying about what's going to happen. What are we doing here? Why? So forth and so on. I'm stressed out. I got diagnosed with cancer. I'm trying to get home. I need to get this load. I got to go get, I have surgery in 3 days. I got to get to Texas and get back to Kansas. I just want that to be understood. I'm not trying to be more of a burden on him, but at the same time, I do believe that I'm due compensation for my time and effort, everything that I've tried to put in towards making the court's case go smoothly. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Tipton, pending documents or evidence of the time spent, we're gonna hold that until a later date, okay?
All right, Your Honor. It's my understanding too that from Ms. Hemphill that we've still not received any information regarding his restitution request at this point. So if we could have it scheduled sometime down the line, that would be great. If we don't receive documents, though, we will withdraw our request.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Bailey, head to the probation office in the next courtroom, okay?
I got one more thing to say.
Yes, Mr. Bailey.
How do can I get restitution for my probation offense?
For your what?
Probation offense?
No.
Why?
Mr. Bailey, go to probation and ask her any questions that you might need. Don't play with me, sir. I missed lunch because you were late. Had you been here on time, I'd have been done already.
I am sorry about that. I was a little lost.
All right. Okay, so thank you. Go to probation.
And I apologize, Your Honor. I do have another late person. Chapman from the 11 o'clock.
I'm sorry.
Chapman?
Chapman?
Yes, from the 11 o'clock calendar.
Okay.
Your Honor,
well,
I
they
would
don't
just
have to
ask for
wait.
the FTA to remain in.
Yeah, they're going to have to wait until the 1 o'clock calendar. All these people strolling in at the time they decide that they're going to come in. That's not how this works. All right, I'll be back at 1. Probably 1:10. That's how I need a break.
Ms. Hemphill, are you still here?
Yes,
sir.
We're right
I'm going to call
now.
you.
Miss Hemphill will be in contact with you.
Okay, thank you. That was literally all I was just all I wanted to say, ma'am, was, like I said, just the I'm not worried about all the past, but whatever is fair to the court or
We
to
understand,
whatever for
sir.
the
We're
4
on break
hours.
right now, and our office will be
Okay.
in contact with you, okay?
Okay, thank you. Have
All
a great
right,
day.
thank you.
Blessings.
Be safe.
Good afternoon. This is the State Court of Clayton County. This is the 1 p.m. criminal bench trial calendar. I'm Judge Tammy Long Hayward. I'm going to call the calendar. First case on the calendar is Rosa Mahia. Rosa Mahia.
Judge, I believe they may be in the conference room with their attorney. I'll go check in the conference room and see if that are the individuals in there.
Okay, just hold on for a second. Let me go through the calendar. Next is Adriana Perez. Adriana Perez. That is a restitution hearing for both of those cases.
And Judge Adriana Perez is present.
Actually, those three cases, 1, 2, 3.
Judge, I would note, I believe the case that the restitution is stemming from does not show Lister and Holt as being appointed, but from looking at it, it appears she pled to all three cases at the same time. So I believe that we likely were appointed on all three, and just there was not an appointment order executed.
Yeah, I appointed y'all on all of them, but if you need to send me an order, I'm fine with that. What are we doing with the hearing?
It's the state's motion, so
That is correct, Your Honor. So essentially, excuse me, Ms. Perez did plead guilty to all three cases, and at that point, restitution hearing was set at that time to be determined at a later date. That date wasn't set until the victim reached out to our office indicating that she is requesting restitution. What's going on with the case because of her vehicle was damaged really bad. At that point, I did ask Ms. Arnold to schedule.
It's on the calendar. What I'm saying is, are we going forward with a hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So this is State of Georgia versus Adriana Perez. Ms. Perez has three cases in front of the court: 2021 CR 08119, 2024 CR 01990, and 2024 CR 01991. Which case is this witness here for restitution?
I can just have one moment, Your Honor. Make sure. Sorry, one moment, Your Honor. Ms. Hemphill, may you please respond in the chat, please? And Your Honor, I'm ready with that information.
All right, which case is it, Ms. Ponder?
It's on the last case, and that's 2024 CR 01991, the hit and run accident, no insurance, expired tag, and improper U-turn.
All right, state may present its evidence at this time.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Campbell, may you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that testimony that you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not going to go into the incident date because the defendant did plead guilty to those charges. This is just for a restitution hearing, so we're going to focus on the damages of your vehicle and what were the estimates, okay? If you have any questions or you need me to slow down or repeat myself, just let me know and I'll be happy to do so. Okay, Ms. Campbell?
Okay.
All right. And I'm not sure if I swore you in, but may you please state your first and last name?
It's Amanda Campbell.
Okay. And were you the owner of the vehicle that was involved in this hit and run accident?
Yes.
Okay. And were there any damages to your vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And did you provide photos of the damages to your vehicle to the solicitor's office?
Well, I gave them to Miss Hemphill, and I can't believe trying to think of the name of the other guy. It was another guy representing her when she was out or something, so I'm not sure.
Okay. So you did give Ms. Hemphill a copy, pictures of your vehicle, the damages.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you get an estimate for the damages for your vehicle?
Okay.
Okay. And you provide a copy of the estimate to Ms. Hemphill?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you go to get an estimate?
It was somewhere close near my home, auto shop. I can't remember the name. That was like over a year ago, but I do have the paperwork.
Okay. And did you need an opportunity to retrieve that paperwork?
It's actually in my phone if I'm able to kind of pause it, but I do know that Miss Hemphill has it as well.
Okay. So if you can just look in your phone for me and just give me the name of that auto shop.
Okay. 1 second. Yes, it's called MOP Auto Solutions.
Okay, and this is the actual business location?
Yes.
Okay. And does it have a business address?
Yes, it does. 1 second.
Okay. And did you get your car, did you take your car to the shop? How were they able to assess the damages?
Yes, I took photos and stuff because my car was not, drivable at the time, and I didn't have money for a tow truck. And the guy came and looked and stuff like that, and he actually did the estimate there, and we went.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he saw the physical your car in person.
Yes.
Okay. And so after you received an estimate, how much was the grand total for the damages?
Let me look and make sure. I believe it was a little over 7,000. One second, I'm actually going through the papers. Yeah, $7,360 dollars and 38 cents.
Okay. And so Your Honor, am I allowed to share my screen to show Ms. Campbell some photos?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Campbell, I'm going to share my screen. I need you to just let me know whether or not this is your vehicle, okay?
Okay.
Once I realize how to do this technology. Okay, so I'm attempting, I don't know if you all can see. Can you see my screen, Ms. Campbell?
We can.
Yeah, I can see you. I don't see anything. Yeah.
Okay. Might have to scroll maybe to the right or the left.
Okay. Yes, that's my
Okay. And this is your vehicle, the day of the incident that the accident happened?
Yes.
Okay. And it's a fair and true accurate of the damages that took place due to the accident?
Yes.
And has it been altered in any way?
No.
Okay. And I'm going to keep, at this time, Your Honor, the state would like to submit into evidence State's Exhibit 1.
Any objection, Mr. Lynch?
Not at this time, or no, Judge, no objection.
All right, Exhibit 1 will be admitted without objection.
And also, Ms. Campbell, you provided Ms. Hemphill more photos of the damages of your vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. And based upon the photos of the damages to your vehicle, does this appear to be a true and accurate depiction of your vehicle on that day?
Yes.
Okay. And has any of these pictures been altered in any way?
No.
Okay. Give me one moment. Your Honor, at this time, the state would like to introduce into evidence State's Exhibit 2 through 10.
Any objection?
Not so much an objection. However, it seems that some of the photos depict the other vehicle. Just want to make the court aware of that. Is that the intent is to
The intent just to introduce the video, the pictures, and then I'll go into detail, more into detail.
All right, no objection.
All right, 1 through 10 will be admitted without objection.
Thank you. And so, Ms. Campbell, we're going to go through each picture so that I can ask questions whether or not this is your vehicle or someone else's vehicle, okay?
Okay.
All right. And this photo here, State's Exhibit 1, who vehicle is this?
This one is mine.
Okay.
That's mine.
State's Exhibit 2, this is your vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. State's Exhibit 3, is this your vehicle?
No, that's the defendant's vehicle.
Okay. State's Exhibit 4.
That's her vehicle.
Okay. State's Exhibit 5.
That's mine.
6.
Try to zoom in because the pictures are kind of small. I believe that's her. Oh, let me see. Yeah, that's hers.
Okay. And then this is her vehicle as well?
Yes.
Okay. And then I believe the other pictures of her vehicle. So I just want to make sure that we understand Exhibit 1 is your vehicle.
Yes.
And these are the damages that were assessed.
Yes.
And Exhibit 2 is your vehicle as well?
Yes.
And And you also indicated that you provided Ms. Hemphill a copy of the actual estimate for your vehicle.
Yes, I did.
And Judge, as far as that estimate, we are going to object at this time on the basis of authentication and hearsay.
All right, Ms. Ponder.
Your Honor, I would submit to the court that this witness has knowledge this documentation was provided to Ms. Campbell once she got her estimate. And so would be an exception to a business record. She indicated she went to a business, they provided her this documentation. So the state would just go into the fact that this is what was told to her based on the damages of her vehicle.
Well, so Judge, I believe that there would need to be a witness to show that this was in fact a record kept in the ordinary course of business by this business. Additionally, a witness to authenticate that this did in fact come from this particular business as far as authentication.
Your Honor, as the state would argue again, as far as this documentation that was provided to Ms. Campbell, she has knowledge based upon what was provided to her due to the estimate. She's relaying what the estimate was for the damages.
Sustained.
And so Ms. Campbell, you received an estimate maybe about 4 or 5 pages. Does this appear to be a true and accurate copy of what you received?
Yes, it is.
Okay. At this time, Your Honor, the state would like to just submit into evidence the 5 documents that Ms. Campbell received.
And I just renew my objection.
Sustained.
And so you indicated that on the document, the grand total was $7,360.
Yes.
Okay. No further questions regarding the photos. Did you attempt to make any contact with the defendant's insurance company?
No, she didn't have insurance at the time.
No further questions from this witness, Your Honor.
All right, any questions, Mr. Lynch?
Yes, Campbell, at the time of the accident, you have no insurance.
Yes, I had insurance.
Did you have uninsured motorist coverage?
I believe so.
Have you filed a claim based on this?
No, I haven't.
Have you received any type of compensation for these damages?
No, sir, I couldn't receive any compensation due to the defendant running at the time and also due to her lack of insurance at the time. There was no way I can get anything off of this accident.
But you did indicate that you have uninsured motorist coverage, correct?
Yes, but I was not going to get the vehicle fixed upon my own behalf because of, defendant's own actions.
Okay. And so there was some discussion about an estimate that you received. When did the repairs actually take place?
I never even got my car repaired. I've still been waiting on restitution. I never received anything, so I can't get it repaired without anything.
No further questions.
All right. Anything else for this witness, Ms. Ponder?
Yes, just briefly, Your Honor. And Ms. Campbell, no further questions.
All right. Any other witnesses?
The state has no additional witnesses, Your Honor, and rest at this time.
All right. Defense want to put up any evidence?
Yes, Judge. We're just going to ask Ms. Perez a few questions.
Okay. Raise your right hand for me, Ms. Perez. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
I do.
All right. You can put your hand down.
I'll state your full name for the record, if you will.
Adriana Perez Meza,
And how old are you?
29,
Are you currently employed?
not at the moment.
Tell me a little bit about Well, let me ask you this. As a result of these cases that you resolved in state court, you are currently on probation. Is that, or are you on any kind of supervision?
I'm on probation.
And associated with that probation, is there a sum of money that you're aware that you owe to the probation office?
I do.
Can you tell me what that amount is?
It's 5,000.
Okay. And currently, do you pay rent?
I do.
How much rent do you pay every month?
1,000.
Do you, and so you said you're currently not employed. Accurate. Have you been attempting to find work?
I have.
Can you get into a little bit of where you've been trying to find work?
I have been going to, like, I've applied for UPS, Home Depot, the businesses, restaurants where I'm usually good at.
You have children?
I do.
Do you contribute to their expenses?
I do.
But I'm assuming you have some help with your children. At this
Yes,
point.
yes, I do. I do.
No further questions.
Ms. Perez, so how's you paying $1,000 a month rent? Who's paying it?
Really, I pay half of it, and I have a roommate, but I pay usually half of it. I do have.
Okay, well, where's the $500 a month coming from?
I actually do other jobs like on the side. I don't have an actual government job yet, but I have like little, like I do painting and remodeling on the side actually.
All right, so if he says, are you working? And you tell him, no, I haven't been able to find a job, you're not gonna find a job at Home Depot and any of those other places with the record you got. But if you're doing side work, that is a job, ma'am. Why would you stand up here and lie?
Judge, well.
No, Mr. Lynch, I heard the question you asked her. Are you working?
It's really a seasonal job.
I don't care what kind of job it is. He asked you a specific question. Ms. Perez, the whole point is I guess the purpose of Mr. Lynch's questions is to say that you don't have any money and you're not able to pay, but you left this woman without a vehicle. I mean, we're all clear on that. There's no disputing in that. You've left her without a vehicle. And so just to come in and say, well, I can't pay because I can't get a job, that's not going to be sufficient. If you live in somewhere and somebody's paying the rent, then you got help. She doesn't. If you swinging a hammer or painting a house or laying sheetrock or any of those things, that's money that should go to Miss Campbell. We clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't mess around and get a perjury charge. That's 5 years in prison. Because I swore you in before you answered Mr. Lynch's question. And I'm so over you right now.
And Judge, if I may.
No, Mr. Lynch, you may not. We've been through this with Ms. Perez. She hurt somebody. She rendered this woman without the ability to get back and forth to work for a car that she had in her possession. Now she doesn't have a car. And now Ms. Perez, when asked whether she's working, she's going to tell me first she pays $1,000 in rent. Now it's $500 because she got a roommate. And now she's doing side jobs. But when you asked her whether she had a job, Ms. Perez, what I would suggest is you go work in the industry I used to work in. I used to be an attorney for some of the dancing clubs. They make a lot of money, and that would allow you to help Miss Campbell. I don't have no problems with dancers because they make a lot of money and it's honest work. You dancing. But if you can't find a job nowhere else, you need to get creative because you've left this woman without a car. Now, the probability is you won't even be able to get that job because they stringently do background checks. So, but you're gonna have to come up with something. It's not fair to her. Miss Wright, or I'm sorry, I can't see because I'm on pen mode, but who ever is in the clerk's office, tell me how long her sentence is, because I believe I ran something consecutive.
Let me pull it up 1 moment.
I'm sorry?
Judge, I do believe that that's correct. I believe it was either a 24-month or 36-month. I think it may have been 36 months, but is that accurate? Was it 3 years? I think it was a total of 3 years, and she's been through about a year. So I think there's probably 24 months left on probation. I mean, I would like the clerk to verify that, but that's my understanding.
Okay, yeah, this case was closed May 7th of 2024. So that's almost a year. Yeah, tell me how many months I got left. Because we don't get to hurt people and then just walk away and say, well, I can't do anything. Oops.
There's 12 months on the first case.
I'm sorry?
There's 12 months on the first case.
Uh-huh.
And CPUA is being slower than I want it to be.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, the CPUA is just being slow for me today.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure I ran something consecutive.
$12 months on the second case.
Mm-hmm.
And 12 months on the third case. That's consecutive to the first case.
So it's 24 months total?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
The second and third are consecutive. The first one are concurrent. I mean, the one ending in 1991 is consecutive to the one ending in 8119.
Okay. All right. So she
90 and 91 are concurrent.
All right. All right. Thank you. All right. So Ms. Ponder. I'm sorry, no, Mr. Lynch, did you have any other questions?
Judge, no, I do not have any further questions for Ms. Perez.
Okay. Ms. Ponder?
Your Honor, I have no questions, just argument.
Okay, I'll hear argument.
Yes, Your Honor, the state would request an access court to modify the defendant's sentence and so that she pay the restitution to Ms. Campbell in the amount of $7,360.38. As the court has previously mentioned, the victim should not basically be held responsible due to the defendant's actions. As Ms. Campbell has stated, she has not gotten her car fixed because she has not had the money to do so, and she believes that she should not have to do so based upon the defendant's actions. And so I would just ask for this court to modify the defendant's sentence to include this restitution in the full amount.
Mr. Lynch?
So Judge, just a couple things. Number one is, the victim does have a duty to mitigate damages and the amount of restitution requested. Another thing, the estimate was not introduced into evidence, and I think it's important for the court to take note of the fact that these repairs have not been completed. And so we don't know whether this is going to be this amount or more. Of course, restitution is not intended, it's more restitution than the damages is not authorized. So we don't really have sufficient evidence to support this number of $7,360 that the state alluded to. Additionally, Judge, my understanding is that Ms. Campbell has had uninsured motorist coverage at the time. And so she certainly has the ability to file a claim with her provider and seek compensation through that route. So that's another thing the court should consider, the ability to be compensated through other sources. If she were to do that, of course, that would likely extinguish any claims here. And so in addition to that, Judge, my client is indigent. She does not have, and I think in response to my question, Judge, she interpreted it as like formal employment. She has very limited resources. She has $5,000 owing to the probation office at least, and she has obligations outside of that. The defendant's ability to pay is one of the factors in restitution. So I'd ask the court to not order the restitution, or if the court is inclined to order restitution, to order it in a lower amount that Ms. Campbell, that Ms. Perez could reasonably be expected to pay.
Your Honor, may I step in right now at this moment? I'm sorry.
Judge, you seem to be muted.
I can't hear.
Ms. Campbell.
Yes, I just want to make a statement real quick. It was just not me that was hurt in this accident at the time. I was seriously hurt due to her being a drunk at the time. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything.
With your child, right?
I'm sorry?
You were in the car with your companion and your child.
My child at the time was 7 years old, and he was actually hurt. I was actually hurt. I still have a scar on my stomach from the steering wheel hitting my stomach at this time. And it's not just only about the restitution for the car. My son is still having urination problems, like I stated. And I'm trying not to get emotional because I feel like she's getting a slap on the wrist when I've been dealing with all this extraness, dealing with the emotional part of it, seeing my child have problems with his kidneys due to this accident. This is not something light. This is not a slap on the wrist. This is something that she should be held accountable for. And I just feel very disrespected and just feeling like, as a woman, like this is not serious. And my child was actually seriously hurt. I was seriously hurt. I still have back problems from this. This is not something that's just, oh, well, the accident happened and it's okay. She was drunk. She fled the scene. I had to get out the car with my child and run after this lady. I had to run after her, hurting and all, to find her. Then she ran.
So
gun was held at me. No, a gun was held at me from the guy from the door. I don't know if that was her father or whatever. It's in the police report. This is not a regular matter. This is serious. And she's been slap on the wrist.
It's not that I don't take this seriously. So the fact that she didn't have insurance is a horrible thing. But the whole point of having uninsured motorist coverage is so that our uninsured motorist coverage can make us whole and we can have a car to drive while they go after her. If you didn't let your uninsured motorist know, then they're not going to go after her to get everything that they could possibly get. That's the whole point of having that type of coverage, is it makes you whole in the short term. Then they go after her to get what they did to make you whole. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I shouldn't have to go after my insurance. I get that. But from a practical standpoint, she doesn't have anything.
Right.
She didn't have anything before she did these 3 cases.
Right.
And I get it is not fair. Like I said, I remember you talking about your child being in the car. If I remember, your companion was in the car also. Is that correct?
Well, yes.
I remember you trying to chase her and then ending up at a trailer, and she went inside and some man held a gun on you and said, you need to get away from that. You get away from here, get away from here.
Yes.
I understand. So I get all of that. And from judging from the pictures, I can decide based on what the pictures are, what is a reasonable amount to award for restitution. But when the law says you have a duty to mitigate your damages, what it's saying is you have to do the best you can to make yourself whole, even though somebody else caused the problem, and then you can get restitution for whatever you're not compensated for.
Your Honor, I would just like to intervene so that to see whether or not Ms. Campbell understood Mr. Lynn's question, because the information that I received is that she only had liability only and not full coverage.
Yes.
And so I'm not really sure
Well,
if
she-
she
you don't
understood
have-
what was uninsured motorist or any terminology, but it was based on the documents that we received and the information we received, excuse me, from Ms. Campbell was that she only had liability and not full coverage.
Well, Judge, I believe the evidence is closed at this point. I'm not sure if Deputy Ponder is attempting to.
Okay, well, let me just make a decision. At this point, Ms. Perez, I'm going to modify your probation. I'm gonna modify your sentence to add the restitution in the amount of $7,365.38. You'll pay a minimum of $400 a month until such time as Ms. Campbell is satisfied. And I will allow you to have your probation supervision fees suspended so that all the money that you give to probation can go directly to Ms. Campbell. And Ms. Perez, it is your duty to go out and work as much as you possibly can. I don't care if you have to get 3 or 4 jobs. And you're not going to get them at Home Depot or FedEx because they're going to look at your record. So you're going to have to figure out what to do. If you got cousins who are doing drywall, or if you know a family friend who's got a business, you're going to have to ask and look for something to do, because you don't get, as I said this before, you don't get to just hurt somebody and not be accountable for it. All right, anything else at this time?
Nothing.
Okay, that's it. All right, and then Mejia.
Ms. Hemphill, may you please get with Ms. Campbell to get the most recent information so that we can provide it to Ms. Wright, please?
Yeah, Ms. Hemphill and Ms. Campbell, I'll put y'all in a breakout room so y'all can get that squared away. All right?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Your Honor, I have an announcement on Ms. Is it Mia? Miha?
Good afternoon. Suri Chada on behalf of Ms. Mejia, and also in the courtroom is Attorney Devin Rafis, along with my client, Your Honor. How are you?
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can Ms. Perez be excused at this time?
Yes, Ms. Perez, please make sure you pay those amounts as I've stated. I don't want to have to see you again in an orange jumpsuit. We clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, work it out.
And Your Honor, I would just like to make an announcement on this case.
Yes.
Upon further review and consideration, the state is moving to null process case.
No process, what case?
This case on the calendar 2024-02210. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so Mejia will be no prost.
Thank you, Your Honor. No objection. This concludes my business. May me and co-counsel Rafis and my client be excused.
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Your
All
Honor,
right.
I will prepare a no pros and copy counsel as well on that email.
All right, so I'll be signing everything, just send it. And at this time, that concludes the bench trial calendar for 1 p.m.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Miss Campbell, Miss Hemphill, it might just be easier if she calls Miss Campbell, because I put her in a breakout room, but I don't think Miss Campbell is able to get in.
Is there any way they can send the link back to me? I tried to click on it, but it kind of jumped out.
Hold on. Let's see if we can move you. I think Miss Campbell might already, Miss Hemphill. Okay, so Miss Campbell, hold on a second. Don't move until I tell you, okay?
And Miss Campbell, we do have your contact number. What I'm going to instruct Miss Hemphill to do is just to give you a call as soon as we log off, so that we're not, I guess.
I think she just went in there.
Miss Campbell, we're going to give you a call as soon as we get off the call, just so we don't kind of hog up the Zoom. And then, so just be on the lookout for Ms. Hemphill. She'll call as soon as we log off. And we're just going to get some updated information. And then we're going to pass that over to the clerk so that they'll have the information for your restitution, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So just be on the lookout for a phone call within the next 5-10 minutes.
Okay, thank you all.
You're welcome. And Officer Lane, you're excused, ma'am.
All right, so this concludes our calendar. A question? All
Judge,
right. Yes.
can we also ask on that null process order that it be restricted and sealed? I know sometimes they have the option on the null process to go ahead and have it restricted and sealed from the arrest record.
So essentially what I would put on the null process, it will say restricted, and then you have to file a motion to have it sealed, and then that will go, that will be the rest for that.
Understood. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And Your Honor, one last thing on that case. Is it possible for my client to stick around and get a copy of it? She has an immigration meeting next month, so she will need a certified final disposition, so she can go ahead and get it now. And if not, she'll come back another day.
All right, I'm looking, I don't have it yet, but I'll sign it as soon as I can.
Thank you.
Yeah, she can wait and she'll be able to get a copy from the second floor at the traffic court window.
How long will it take, Your Honor?
I don't have it yet to sign. I'm waiting for the state to send it to me.
Okay. And the state should send it in the
It'll
next hour?
20 minutes or so.
Okay, I'll let her know. En los 20 minutos del estado se lo va a mandar a la corte para firmar.
Thank you, Ms. Ponder. Thank you,
You're
Judge.
welcome.
All right, so she can head down to the second floor. And then when it comes up at the traffic court window.
Yeah, would she get it on the first floor since it's a criminal trespass case?
Oh, I'm sorry, first floor. Yeah, if you go down to the first floor, when you come back through the double doors on the first floor of the building, come back through the double doors and go to your left. And you'll see the state court clerk's office.
Okay, I'm the interpreter, Your Honor. I'll make sure, well, she's with the attorney and the clerk, so they'll help.
Okay, all right, so yeah, if you head down to the first floor, by the time you get down there, I should have something.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you all.
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Yes.
May the interpreter be excused?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. All right, what's going on, Whitson?
Mr. Chapman from the 10 a.m. calendar. I know Ms. Ponder said continue with the FTA, but he's still in the courtroom.
Yeah, Mr. Chapman, you missed out, sir. We filed an FTA. You're gonna have to be rescheduled because you weren't here on time.
I apologize, man. I just got the paperwork. It went to my old address in my mother's house. So she just called me.
The best thing you can do is go downstairs to the first floor to the state court clerk's office and change your mailing address so that it'll come to you. Your next court date will come directly to you at that mailing address. If not, the next one will go to your mama's house too.
So with this, do I still have the active warrant right now with the failure to appear?
It's my understanding that the FTA, they get they get a reset on the first one. Is that correct, Ms. Ponder?
Yeah, during the bench trial, it's my understanding that for an FTA is similar to like a conviction, or like if someone doesn't show up, and then I'm not sure if his license will be suspended. But I know in traffic arraignment, it's automatically continue for traffic arraignment.
Right. For traffic arraignment, they'll do another one.
That is correct, Your Honor. But I'm not sure about bench trials. I believe he can be scheduled for another date.
Okay, go to the second floor to the traffic court window and tell them you missed your court date, and Judge Hayward said that you need to reschedule for a bench trial.
Was it for this case, calendar, Judge, or
It
what?
was on the 11 o'clock calendar, I believe.
What's his name?
Chapman, C-H-T-M-O-N.
No, C-H-A-T-M-A-N.
C-H-A-T-M-O-N, I'm sorry.
So are you saying that you want it to be continued to the next bench trial, Judge?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'll make sure it get continued.
All right, go downstairs to the first floor, sir, and change your address so that you get the notice on time.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Woodson.
Have a good one.
Thank you.